Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marjorie Bolero Horton, and I'm an assistant registrar here at the University of the West Indies Mona campus. We at the UWI are delighted this evening to have you share with us in this session. It was orchestrated specially for you who are so important to us at the University of the West Indies. But before I introduce my fellow presenters. Thank you again. We are delighted to have you sharing with us at the #1 university in the Caribbean, ranked among the top 4% best universities globally. We at UWI feel that it is our responsibility to provide you with the relevant information so that you can be aware of the choices available to you and your children at the University of Choice at the University of the West Indies. And research has shown, especially during COVID time, a lot of research has been done on students' choice of college or of colleges. And what it has shown is that about approximately 60% of students, they listen to their parents to make their choice. And so you are very important. And so we consider you partners. And if you are partners, then you will need to know more about us so you can partner with us. We therefore recognize you, and our aim is to inform you so that you can advise your children or your child in choosing the right path. Today with me, we have my colleagues from the Marketing, Recruitment and Communications Office, Mrs. Primrose Brown, so Dane Murray, Mr. Tashika Taylor. And we are from the Marketing, Recruitment and Communications Office of the Campus Registrar. Today, you will be hearing about the programs offered at the UWI Mona, and the programs are offered through faculties. And there are 8 faculties at the University of the West Indies, 7 of which are at the Mona campus. The present with us, the presenters are in the faculties, Faculty of Engineering, and I'm going to ask our members to just show their faces. Dr. Omar Thomas, who is the Deputy Dean of Outreach and Internationalization and Marketing in the Faculty of Engineering. Then we have Dr. Nicole Plummer, Associate Dean, Marketing and Outreach in the Faculty of Humanities and Education. Faculty of Law, Mrs. Rose Cameron, Grant Cameron, Dean, Deputy Dean, Undergraduate Studies. Faculty of Medical Sciences, Dr. Annette Crawford Sykes, and who is Deputy Dean of Student Success, and Dr. Theon Jones will also be part of our presentation. He'll be helping to monitor the chat. The Faculty of Social Sciences, Dr. Heather Ricketts, Deputy Dean in the Faculty of Social Sciences. Faculty of Science and Technology, Dr. Andre Coy. He's an Associate Dean in External Engagement. Faculty of Sport, Dr. Aldim Fisi, and he's Head of Academic Programs and Activities. Now, of course, if we are the UWI and we're talking about students, and we also have some student reps with us. Miss Ashley McPherson, final year civil engineering student. Mr. Deshaun Cook, Management and Information Studies students at the Mona Western Jamaica campus. And you'll be hearing from them. They'll just share a little bit of their experience. We have also with us Miss Simone Williams, and Miss Williams is going to be sharing with us about how we help our students to connect the soft skills and balance them with the academics, therefore making them the ideal UWI graduate. So she'll be talking about the out of classroom learning experiences that our students are engaged in here at the University of the West Indies. Importantly, you will also want to know about how to finance your child's education. And so we are going to help you We have some presenters, internal and external, who will be sharing with you. Mrs. Shauna Hastings Edwards, who will join us a little later. She's from the Office of Student Financing here at UWI Mona. Mr. Lincoln Gordon, who is a supervisor, student administrative systems in the bursary. And we have our partners outside, Mr. Kevon Walker. He's a branch manager, Sagicor Bank, Mandeville, and Mrs. Crystal Barrows McDonald and Mr. Alex Henry, and they are from the Students' Loan Bureau. So these are some of our partners who will be sharing with us. We have also from the admissions office, and she will be answering questions in the chat. So if you have that, she'll be answering questions. Dr. Morgan Allen, Marsha Morgan Allen, and she is the Senior Assistant Registrar with responsibilities for admissions. I think also with her is Mrs. Donna Lafayette Foster from the admissions office. Now, I'm sure many of you are graduates of the UWI, so you know what the UWI is about, you know when it started, but just a little bit about it. We started in 1948 here at Mona with 33 students, and today we have 5 campuses spread across the English-speaking Caribbean. There's a Mona, and Mona has a second location. I don't know how many of you know about it, or Mona Western Jamaica campus, and we'll have one of our students from there sharing with us today. So she's going to share about his experience. Then there's a St. Augustine campus in Trinidad and Tobago, Cave Hill in Barbados, the Open campus, which is found in all our 17 contributing countries, and the 5 Islands campus in Antigua and Barbuda. As a university, we have approximately 50,000 students in our family. So we are a little university, but we are a big university in that we pack a big punch. As I said before, we are ranked among some of the world's best universities. So when we offer, our programs are offered in undergraduate, graduate degrees, and we also have some certificates, maybe at the Open campus. So when your child shall have left the University of the West Indies, they can go anywhere in the world and work. And if we take a look and we're to take a census, most of our graduates are in positions of leadership here in Jamaica and in other areas of the Caribbean. Okay, now we not only give our students a chance to study locally, but some of our students have the chance to make the best of both worlds. Sometimes they want to go away, but they don't want to necessarily go to study over. We give them the opportunity to study here in Jamaica and also to get some experiences. So they pay locally, they just pay our little bit of fee, and then they can go and study globally, utilizing our partners with other internationally recognized allies in Canada, US, UK, England, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Martinique, and China. And you'll hear a little bit more about the China from Dr. Coy, where the software engineering, our students study here and study also in China. Some of our students, some of our partners will give our students a scholarship to cover some of their expenses. So here we are, and we are going to be now hearing from some of our persons how we prepare our students. So the faculties will be speaking. We'll also have our manager from our Student Services and Development Manager, Dr. Williams, Dr. Anne-Marie Williams. She is going to be sharing with you about how we as UWI, how we are preparing our students for the post-pandemic world of work. So Dr. Anne-Marie Williams, I invite her to come now and to share with you about our job ready students, or work ready students.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Horton. And I want to commend you and the marketing team for facilitating this kind of exchange with our parents. And as you rightly said, we have co-curricular activities or non-academic programs that facilitate the development of our students. And so my presentation is how, through the Student Services and Development Department, how we engage our students to ensure that they are ready for the working world. And most of you will know that COVID has resulted in a lot of uncertainty as it relates to higher education and employment opportunities. But I want to share some information with you before I get into how the Office of Student Services and Development, and more particularly Placement and Career Services, assist our students in being well-rounded and ready for the world of work. So you see, the job loss crisis is unprecedented as a result of COVID-19. And ILO, that's the International Labour Organization, in September 2020, just a few months ago, reported that over 34 million jobs were lost in Latin America and the Caribbean just due to COVID alone. And so you see, it is having a significant impact on employment opportunities, and individuals are now questioning whether there is the need for higher education. But I want to encourage you, higher education is still important, and engaging your child, your ward, your children in this aspect of their growth and development is very important. Now, the global impact of COVID can also create confusion as it relates to career planning. The good news, though, is that there are still jobs that are being offered. There are still recruitment opportunities taking place. When we look beyond COVID, and we will see through research that some of these areas are the primary areas that are representing future jobs. And we're looking at the green economy, where we have jobs in climate change, renewable energy, healthcare, biotechnology, research-related, health-related research. We're also looking at online education and the use of ITC. We have e-commerce and general IT solutions that will be future jobs that will not die. As you can see, the pandemic has forced us to also operate remotely, and a lot of these services will be offered using AI technology, that's artificial intelligence technology. And so as you guide your children into career paths that they should be engaging in or that they should be exploring, I want you to pay attention to these jobs that are likely to survive even in any pandemic. And so I want to even break it down a little closer home to Jamaica and to the opportunities that we see coming through the Office of Placement and Career Services at the University of the West Indies. And so, as I said to you, hiring is still taking place. And since March 2020, we, through the Office of Placement and Career Services, have been requested to find recruits for 860 jobs. That's during COVID, during the time when many persons aren't hiring. I must say that most of these jobs too are from the private sector. We know there are other agencies that are government related who are also recruiting, but I want to just capture the percentage of the nature of jobs that are available even during this current period when we're experiencing downturn in job offers. If we look at the 860 job offers, 25% of those jobs were in marketing, sales related fields. Another 20% was in finance. We see 11% of those recruitments in the area of information technology. Communication media accounted for another 17% of those jobs. 9% of the jobs were in engineering field. And I just want to say that there are some recruits that are engaged outside of our office, because some of these faculties, for example, the Faculty of Law, Faculty of Med Science, and I know also engineering and the faculty relating to communication and technology, they also place students directly through their department and through their internship programs. So some of those jobs we might not be able to account for them. So bear that in mind. Now another 10% of all those jobs were also in digital marketing. 3% wanted administrative support duties and 1% in manufacturing field. Those that requested research-related jobs were 3%, and in the legal field, 1%. Healthcare, 0.5%. And as I said before, this does not reflect 100% the nature of jobs that are available, particularly in the healthcare, because the medical science, the Faculty of Medical Science would also have engaged their students through internship programs, and they would be placed as a result. The legal field is also one of those areas, and as I said, the engineering field. Those students also secure job offers as a result of internship programs and also on-campus recruitment. Now, how do we engage students to ensure that they are ready for these jobs that are available? And this is very crucial. We know the university is interested in your academic, but besides the academic component, the university is also conscious that there are soft skills and other out of classroom learning experiences that will allow our students to grow into the rounded, grounded, and holistic person, the ideal UWI graduate. And as a result, placement and career services is a component that will help the students to grow beyond just the academics. So the Office of Placement and Career Services provides support for students as they enter our halls in providing career guidance through a computerized self-assessment tool. We call it SIGI3. There are others that are available, but the one that is utilized by the university is called SIGI3. We also twin that experience with individual career counseling. So when your children enter the halls of the University of the West Indies, we are here to serve them, to ensure that whatever career path they are best suited for, that we can provide the kind of support so they can identify who they are and identify the areas in which they are more inclined to succeed. And so we engage the career guidance through individual career counseling and computerized career assessment tools. We engage them with career exploration opportunities through job shadowing experiences. Now, I know the job shadowing might be a little limited now, but we also have mentorship that is twinned to the job shadowing so that students can engage with professionals in the areas that they are interested in pursuing. So they get hands-on support as to what to expect, what not to expect. We also engage students in job readiness seminars, so we are able to help them to learn what employers are expecting from them. We also provide job search and job referral assistance, internship coordination. We provide reviews and advising on cover letter and resume writing. So we don't allow our students to just venture out into the world of work without providing this kind of support. I want to just say before I move on that having completed a study where employers were responding to the readiness, the job readiness of university students, and hearing the challenge they experience in saying that our university students are not ready, they don't know how to prepare cover letters, they don't know how to prepare a resume, and those are stumbling blocks. for them to gain an advantage to even secure a job interview. And so I want you, as you enroll your children, to encourage them to partner with the Office of Placement and Careers, because the academics is good and they are bright and we applaud them for that, but we want them to be ready for the world of work. And some of these areas are areas that prevent them from excelling. We also do job interview techniques, employment compensation, package negotiation. I see Mrs. Horton ready. I'm about to wrap up now. And so I just want to say to you parents, allow your children to live their own dreams. Allow your children to choose careers that are aligned to their ability, that are aligned to their interest, and embrace your role as a supporting partner in a way that is as passionate as the student who is engaging in studies. I thank you very much and welcome you, and trust that I will see your children at the University of the West Indies, and in particular, the Office of Placement and Career Services. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Williams. And I'm glad you emphasized that last part, because I was about to say that parents, as you support your child, it is for you to support them, to be there, their advocate, but not to tell them to live your dream for you. We see too many tragedies out of these, the child trying to live your dream for you, so they don't excel in what they want to do. So if the child is bright and does the sciences, they can do something in the arts. If that's what they want to do, support them in that light. So that's what you're going to, we're informing you so that you can help them and how you can support. And you'll hear that as we go along. I see Mrs. Cameron. This is Cameron, Grant Cameron from the Faculty of Law. She is ready to speak with you because she has to go to another meeting. So I invite you now, Mrs. Rose Cameron, to share in your 5 minutes.
So I start by asking the question, why should you choose Mona Law? And we have some excellent reasons why you should choose Mona Law. Well, first of all, we have been delivering programs in the Caribbean for over 40 years, and nobody has that record in the Caribbean but the UWI. And a very important reason, and I think this one resonates most with students, is that if you graduate from the Faculty of Law, you are guaranteed automatic entry to the Norman Manley Law School. And that is an important reason why students many times would choose our university. I will skip the bit about our placement. I heard Mrs. Valera Horton talking about that, our ranking in the Caribbean and in the world. And in terms of the matriculation, parents, I know you want to know what it is that your students need to do and how well they need to perform, because getting into the Faculty of Law is a very competitive experience. But once your child, your ward, has 7 subjects, at least 5 at CSEC, 2 at CAPE, or they have a first degree with a grade point average of at least 3.0, then we will be happy to welcome that student. We have two streams of students. We have one program, the LLB program, but we have 2 streams. We have the full-time, and that lasts for 3 years, and we have the part-time program, which can be between 5 and 6 years. Are there scholarships? There's somebody who will tell you about any funding that the university can offer and any scholarships. So I will skip that slide for now. And yes, our students are eligible for student loans. And I see that there is somebody from the Student Loan Bureau. Yeah. So I allow that person to tell us more about what the SLB has to offer. What's the cost of our LLB program? Full-time, it is $10,000 US per academic year. And part-time, it is $1,100 US per 3-credit course. And their payment options. Good news, you can have a chat with the bursary, and there's somebody here from the bursary to help you to organize the funding. So do not feel overwhelmed by the price of the cost of the education, because there is support for you, and you're going to hear about that. And we have a very exciting study abroad program, so you can take a semester off from the Faculty of Law, and you can study in another approved university for the semester or for the year. We can't wait to welcome you, your children, or you too, because we have a lot of mature students in the faculty, and we love to have them. So I can't wait to have you. I look forward to seeing you and or your children in the faculty. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Grant Cameron. I'm sure the parents are glad that you were able to at least slip in for a few minutes. We invite you to put parents or students, you can put in the chat if you have questions. We'll have somebody monitoring the chat, so you can put your question there. So thank you again, Mrs. Grant Cameron. And I'm going to invite our audience that if you have any questions, you can put in the chat, because we have persons there. As we go along, you can put your questions there. We hope that we will complete in a reasonable time the presentation, so you can ask your questions orally. Okay, so thank you again, Mrs. Grant Cameron. Now this time I'm going to invite the exciting Dr. Nicole Plummer from the Faculty of Humanities and Education, the multidisciplinary faculty, to share with you about all the wonderful offerings that are there. So whether you're a scientist, whether you're a social scientist, or you like the arts, whatever you like, this is a faculty that you can find a niche in. Dr. Plummer.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mrs. Houghton. I am so happy to be here with you. And I'm so happy to be presenting to individuals who may very well have students attending our faculty. Now, I want to just tell you a little bit about the humanities, the Faculty of Humanities and Education. Now, very often we are a society where we don't hear the word humanities, and we hear education in general. So who are we? We enjoy a long history and tradition in teaching. We include the Caribbean School of Media and Communication, the Department of History and Archaeology, the Institute of Caribbean Studies, the Department of Language, Linguistics and Philosophy, Library and Information Studies, Literatures in English, Modern Languages and Literatures, and of course, the School of Education. Now we offer, one of the things questions that often comes is, why choose the Faculty of Humanities and Education? What does the humanities have to offer? And we get this question a lot from parents whose children love literature or love communication. So what are they going to do with it? Well, the fact is that there's a lot of things you can do with it. So let's start. Why choose the Faculty of Humanities and Education? No, we offer a wide variety of programs. We offer through the Caribbean School of Media and Communication, CARMAC, the Bachelor of Fine Arts in Animation and Film Production. We offer the Bachelor of Arts in Digital Media Production, Integrated Marketing Communication, and Journalism. Now, the Department of History and Archaeology offers history and archaeology, geography, and the relatively new program, History and Journalism. There's also the Institute of Caribbean Studies, the home of cultural studies, and they offer the Bachelor of Arts in the Cultural and Creative Industries, Media, Entertainment, and Cultural Enterprise Management, and also another program, new program, Music and Performance Studies. Now, the Department of Language, Linguistics and Philosophy offers the BA, or the Bachelor of Arts in Languages. They offer Language, Communication and Society, Linguistics, Philosophy, Linguistics and Language Education, Languages and Linguistics, Caribbean Sign Language Interpreting. Now, the Department of Library and Information Studies, and don't get it wrong, this is the age of information, so this doesn't include a physical library. You have a library on your phone. So they offer the Bachelor of Arts in Information Studies and Librarianship. Now, the Department of Literatures in English offer the Bachelor of Arts Film Studies, Liberal Studies, Literatures in English, and the brand new, sparkling new, Writing, Literature, and Publishing. Now, the Department of Modern Languages and Literatures offers French, Spanish, French, and Spanish, and the minors in Japanese, Mandarin, and Korean. And a wonderful School of Education, because where would we be without our educators? They offer the B.Ed programs, or the Bachelor of Education programs, in History Education, Literacy Studies, Science, Mathematics, Geography/Social Studies, Language Education, Information Technology, Computer Science. Now, we also offer cross-faculty options in Geography, Computer Science, and of course, Mathematics. Now, one of the things with our programs is that our programs, when again, going back to one of the stereotypes with humanities, oh, my daughter or my son going to just read and write and what that can do. No, our programs provide work experience, right? So we offer skills training, internship, and employment opportunities. So the Caribbean School of Media and Communication, their animation, digital media production, film production, integrated marketing, communication, and journalism programs, they are very hands-on, embedded with work experience, and provide students with internships. Now, the Institute of Caribbean Studies, their entertainment and cultural enterprise management offers internship. In fact, several of our former students have received their jobs even before they graduated. Their internships turned into permanent employment. Now, there's also the Bachelor of Arts, Music and Performance Studies. You actually learn how to create rhythms and beats. You apply music to movies, music to advertisements. This is a very hands-on program. Now, all the programs offered in the Department of Library and Information Studies, they're so hands-on that as soon as students leave, they graduate. In fact, they earn jobs. So there's an internship in both programs, in Information Studies and Librarianship. And so excellent is this internship that their students are readily employed. So this is a department, I would always say, if you need job security, come to the Department of Library and Information Studies. Now, the program offered by the Literatures in English, Writing, Literature, and Publishing, was developed with publishing houses right alongside them. So again, that experience is there. Now, our programs are very flexible. Now, instead of getting a degree in one thing, the Bachelor of Arts in Cultural and Creative Industries is actually three-tiered. There's a Cultural and Creative Industries core. Then there's a disciplinary core, which can easily be tourism management or international relations, or a foreign language like French or Spanish. Then there's an industry concentration. What this means is that you can decide that you're going to go into policy. So there's a range of government courses, or you could go into law. There's a law concentration. So there are many concentrations. Music and Performance Studies is also a multidisciplinary program. Now, the Bachelor of Arts in Film Studies is multidisciplinary, and no more multidisciplinary than, say, Liberal Studies. Liberal Studies, you actually do 3 areas. So you can decide to do international relations, history, and Spanish. Now, this will make you a perfect employee when it comes down to the United Nations or CARICOM. Now, Writing, Literature, and Publishing is also a multidisciplinary program, and the degree in History and Journalism, you combine 2 very, very, people think, oh, they're so different, but actually a degree in History and journalism allows you to be an investigative journalist, and it gives your child a competitive edge. So these are very, very useful and flexible programs in this day and age. Now, why are our programs so significant? Why are they important? The fact is that our programs prepare students for the post-COVID job market. Through our programs, we train students in critical thinking, communication, empathy, and problem solving. And this was one tweet here that demonstrates how useful these skills are. And I have another article here, top soft skills employers value, with examples. So if you don't believe me, check out this article. No, the fact is that we are hard on the soft skills. We teach students how to communicate effectively, how to think through problems. So critical thinking is at the heart of our degrees, how to analyze, how to problem solve. And of course, all of this is important when you're thinking of what employers want. Even in the UK, it is said that employers appreciate humanities graduates. Again, this is an article. I didn't write this myself, but I said, let me share this with parents who are doing the research. What can my child do? Now, another article. Here are 10 reasons humanities and education matter. We help the world to understand. We foster social justice. We teach empathy. We teach people how to think critically, build skills in to think creatively, how to be effective educators. These are just some of the skills that we teach, and these are very, very effective. The fact of the matter, again, this is the research. The research shows that of the CEOs, and we're talking about CEOs, 34% of them studied humanities, right? Even UK Member of Parliament, 65% have arts, humanities, or social science degrees. Again, this is not me, this is the research. Even here, right here in Jamaica, the head of human resource in government came out of our faculty. She has a degree in literatures and English. So here are some other articles you're going to find very useful. A humanities degree pays off. And these are some of our past students. Where are they now? Check out their career trajectories, right? They have done extremely well for themselves. And there are a range of employment opportunities. Your child, from banks to animation studios, to embassies, to magazines, to museums, to publishers, to working at regional and international organizations like UNESCO or CARICOM, to travel and tourism. Our degrees allow you to be an advertiser, a copywriter, an animator, a creative writer, an online blogger, right? A dramatist, a digital media producer. You can be an educational psychologist, an educational administrator, an editor, an entertainment manager, a bank manager, an event planner, a film director, a translator, a journalist, a librarian, a news reporter, a radio presenter, speech writer. You can be a legal consultant, particularly if you do philosophy. You can be a whole range of things, or you can be like Dela Harris, multi-hyphenate individual who did her first degree in literatures in English, second degree in communication, and now she's here doing her postgraduate degree in cultural studies. So there we are. And if you don't want your child to leave home, hey, they can always work online. Whether it's graphic design, digital media, music, business, they can work at home. We are cost effective. No, I'm not going to go into the cost of our programs, but one of the good things with our programs, you don't have to sell your liver to allow your child to have a good education and a secure future. I think that to me is one of the most persuasive arguments. We're affordable, we're student-centered, we're multidisciplinary, cutting edge. We create new programs almost every year. Now, if you want more information, check out our Humanities Virtual Roadshow, Pandemic Proof Careers in the Humanities. And we're also available on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You can send me an email. My email address is right there in bold. reach out to us. Feel free to ask any questions. We're here to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Plummer. She's so excited about the humanities. And parents, one of the good things about UWI is, as Dr. Plummer alluded to it, that you can do a double degree for the price of one. So if your child wants to do something in the humanities, but you would like them to do some business, that is possible. So they can do the humanities degree, something, suppose they're interested in Spanish or French or literature, they could do that, and they could do something as well in the social sciences. So they can do two for the price of one. So that's why we're here to share with you so that you can be informed and you can help your child. Now, I don't know how many of you know that the UWI Mona has a faculty of engineering, but we have been in place for about, what, 11 years or something, 8 to 11 years now. But the Faculty of Engineering is at Mona. We also have at St. Augustine, but I'm now inviting Dr. Omar Thomas, the Deputy Dean for Internationalization and Marketing, to share with you about our engineering programs. And a little later, you will hear from one of our students who is a student in the Faculty of Engineering about her experience. Dr. Thomas.
Thank you, Mrs. Bolero Houghton. Welcome parents, students, future engineers. At the UWI Mona, we offer 4 Bachelor of Science degrees listed there: biomedical engineering, which has to do with the application of medicine to the engineering field. Earlier this year, you probably would have seen in the news some of our students, along with the commercial arm of our faculty, doing repairs to ventilators and other medical equipments for the hospital. Another component of biomedical engineering is looking at research diseases. For example, one of our lecturers are looking at how yam can be used to cure cancer. All right, so that's biomedical engineering. Some of you who are interested in medicine, but is still technically minded, you may want to consider biomedical engineering as an alternative. Civil engineering, most persons know what that is. That has to do with the built environment around you, the road, bridges, wastewater treatment, environmental engineering, all of that encapsulate civil engineering. And this is the only program that is really common between the Mona campus and the St. Augustine campus. We have electronics engineering and electrical power engineering, which are more focused in their disciplines. Electronics has to do with telecommunication, robotics, and stuff like that. Electrical power has to do with power generation and transmission. So our students work in the public industry, the private industry, and in education. You can become a designer, consultant, or become a contractor. Now the requirements are listed here: 2 units in terms of pure maths and physics for persons who do CAPE, usually in upper 6. If you do not have the qualification in pure maths and physics at CAPE, you can get in with our prelim engineering program, which is a 1-year program in terms of having 5 CSEC, including English, maths, and physics. We're on the most popular social media pages, and on our website, you can find out more information. Now, if you were to consider engineering, I know some persons may look overseas. If you look at the traditional engineering schools overseas, like Georgia Tech, MIT, tuition ranges from like 23,000 to over 50,000. Our program is 10,000 US. It's one of the full fee paying programs at UWI, and that's our tuition. But I always tell parents and students, you know, don't let that 10,000 frighten you too much. All right, there are a number of funding opportunities out there. All right, before I get into that, I want to tell you that our program, our electronics engineering program, is ABET accredited. All right, of course, all UWI programs are accredited, but this is an additional accreditation that our electronics engineering have, which is similar to all the engineering schools in the US. And we're on board to get the other 3 programs ABET accredited. Now, talking about funding, because we're encouraging students who may not matriculate into the 3-year program, into prelim engineering program. Once you're a Jamaican and you enter the prelim engineering program, you can get a 30% bursary. You have to apply for it, but you can get 30%. That is 3,000 US slashed off your tuition right there. There are a number of other scholarship opportunities. I just want to mention those particular to engineering, as you'll hear more of the others later on. There is the MST VET offered through the Ministry of Education. This is a full scholarship, full boarding and grant money to students. And over the last 2 years, 20 or more of our students have gotten it annually. All right, that's a good scholarship to look out for in March. You want to make sure you get your application in, because a provisional offer is required in applying. We have the New Fortress Energy Scholarship. They give out a number of scholarships every year to our engineering students, the Jamaica Flour Mills. And of course, there's Student Loan Bureau, which you'll hear about later on. But I want to say that our faculty have a preferential rate and amount with the Student Loan Bureau. And I'm encouraging students and parents, invest in your future, all right? You please consider student loan as a feasible option in investing in your future. Last but certainly not least, we have a number of student groups and organizations, which I'm sure one of our students will talk about later on. These groups help students to even interact with Purses industry and help them in terms of getting internships and jobs even before they graduate or reach graduation. They have jobs lined up. So this is it in short of the engineering faculty and the programs that we offer. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Dr. Thomas. I didn't realize I was muted. And I see we're getting some questions in the chat. So please continue to put your questions in the chat at this point before I introduce our next presenter from the faculty. I just want to remind us, Mr. Murray, are you there? Do you have the slide? We'll bring up the slide with the requirements, because some persons are asking, but there are different requirements for faculties. Faculty of Engineering, of course, you know, you need to have your mathematics and physics as the core subjects at both the CAPE and the CSEC level, depending, of course, yes. So here are, how do I get into UWI? And here are the academic requirements. You need to have 5 subjects. So the university says 5 subjects, 2 or more should be at the advanced level. And there are requirements, special requirements for some degree programs. Some of them do not require mathematics. So for example, humanities don't necessarily require mathematics unless you're doing like a cross-faculty program like computer science or computer studies, which is offered by the science and technology. Then you'd probably have to have mathematics and or computer science. So here are the 5 subjects to at the advanced level. For the most part, in the case of medical sciences, some of their programs, you have to have at least 3 at the advanced level. English language, of course, is compulsory university-wide. So you could be as bright as the sun, or your child could be as bright as the sun. No English language, then UWI is not going to be for them at the time. We do also accept international baccalaureate and associate degrees. So persons can enter the university with those, but of course they would have to have the requisite subjects for those areas that they want to get into. You can have your full-time studies or part-time. No, we're not sure what is part-time or full-time. COVID has made everything almost part-time, but you can do 4-year studies if you want to put it in science and technology. If you enter with your CSEC alone, with the requisite CSEC in the sciences, then you can do a 4-year program. Engineering, you heard about the preliminary engineering, that you can enter the 4-year, 1 year for your preliminary, and then the next year you enter the full engineering program. For the humanities and education, again, you can go into a 4-year program. You can go into education if you want to become a teacher in the different areas. There too, you can enter with your CSEC and your CSEC or 1 unit of CAPE, and you will do a 4-year program. Okay, so those are some of the requirements. Our admissions registrar is here. Senior Assistant Registrar Admissions, I saw her entering a little earlier, Dr. Morgan Allen, so she will answer some of the things in the chat. And if anything, she will speak here if there's anything in particular that you wish to hear. I am now going to invite our next presenter to share with us from the faculty. Sorry, just a moment. Yes. From the Faculty of Medical Sciences. Now, the Faculty of Medical Sciences is our flagship faculty for the university, when it started in 1948. And I'm going to invite now Dr. Annette Crawford Sykes, who is the Deputy Dean of Student Success in the Faculty of Medical Sciences, to share about the medical sciences at this time. Dr. Crawford Sykes, are you, I think I see in the chat there. Dr. Sykes, are you there, or Dr. Jones? Okay,
I'm presenting on behalf of Dr. Crawford.
Oh, okay. So this is Dr. Theon Jones. And Dr. Theon Jones, his specialization is in the field of dentistry. So you will hear some more from him about that. Thank you, Dr. Jones.
Thank you, Mrs. Horton. Good evening, parents. Good evening, faculty. Good evening, colleagues. Good evening, staff.
Good evening, Dr. Jones.
The presentation from the Faculty of Medical Sciences today will be looking and focusing on the parents, and we will see how best we can introduce you to our offerings and to what can be expected of us. Okay, so we start off with a short meaning of parenting, the process of promoting and supporting the physical, emotional, social, financial, and intellectual development of a child from infancy to adulthood. Parenting refers to the aspects of raising a child aside from the biological relationship. And for the Faculty of Medical Sciences, our meaning is contained in our vision, which is to be a faculty of excellence rooted in the Caribbean for education, training, research, and service in health and well-being. And in our mission, which is to advance learning, create knowledge, and foster innovation in health for the positive transformation of the Caribbean and the wider world. In summary, parenting is the PESFI of your child: physical, emotional, social, financial, and intellectual development of your child. In looking at parenting and your role in your child's development, this person, Alina Lucifer, defined parenting as follows: P, protective, protects you from everything. A, almighty, next to God, the parent is the one who will fulfill your wishes. R, for real, parents don't tend to hide anything from you. E, enthusiastic, parents are always ready to boost you up. N, natural, parents tend to be real, they don't try to be fake with you. T, tremendous, every parent is unique. And S, sacrifice, they let go of their life to make you happy. So we want to use what she says and look at what the FMS, Faculty of Medical Sciences, is saying. So Alina says P is for protective. FMS says P is for prepare. We will prepare your child to be a research scientist in our BB MedSci program, a clinical pharmacist in our PharmD program, a dentist in our DDS dental program, a radiographer in our diagnostic imaging program, a nurse in our nursing program, and a physician in our MBBS medical program. Alina says that A is for the Almighty. FMS says A is for aptitude. We want your child to have the readiness to become ethical, be professional, develop empathy, and become competent. We know that this aptitude development is easier for children who are manageable, respectful, caring, hardworking, diligent, focused, and self-motivated. And Alina says R is for real. FMS says R is for rigor. The programs that we have will be long, demanding, stressful, and rewarding. It will take you 5 years to become a dentist, a physician, or a clinical pharmacist. And it will take you 4 years to become a nurse and 3 years to become a research scientist, radiographer, and a physical therapist. When your child joins us, they are to prepare for hard work, fewer holidays, longer school days, shorter nights, living on their own, no one to wake them up, no one to tell them to go to school, no one to cook for them, no one to wash and iron, and no one to tell them to go and study. So Alina says E is for enthusiastic. We say E is for enjoyable. Enjoyable on the weekends, between semester breaks, and at the end. These are the times for fun and relaxation in our faculty. So we say to parents, let your child enjoy the summer before they join us, as they will never see a summer or a break that long again. We want you to also let them choose their profession and choose it with a reason. Let it be their reason and not yours. We encourage the students, your children, when they join us, to join our student associations. They can join the Basic Medical Scientists Association, the Student Radiographers, the Student Physical Therapists, the Student Nurses, the Student Physicians, Student Dentists, and the Student Clinical Pharmacists. All student associations will help you to balance your academic life with giving back and being involved in activities on the campus. So Alina says N is for natural. FMS says N is for no. We want you to help your child to say no to time wasting, cheating, plagiarism, dishonesty, lateness, overindulgence, shortcuts, and anger. As your child decides on their career path, help them to say yes to being balanced. We need you to help your child balance their academics and co-curricular activities, as we want your child to continue this balance when they come to us. Students who are only going to classes are not the students who we want. 2, we want you to help your child say yes to being experienced. We need you to help your child to spend time observing one of the 7 areas in our faculty where they will see what happens in the real world. It is great to understand the theory and have a love, but it really helps to know what exactly you're going out into the world to experience. This will greatly assist them in making the right career choice. And thirdly, we want you to help your child to be self-confident. All our programs are going to require your child to attend an interview by the time your child applies. So it is very good to have them practice, develop, learn communication skills from now. So Alina says T is for tremendous. We say T is for teamwork. No island can make it through our faculty. We need you to encourage your child to work in groups, participate in teams, choirs, clubs, so that they can learn how to work with different persons and personalities. Islands work well in sunshine, but not so well in tsunamis. And we have a couple tsunamis that will come for your child. We just want to compare the difference between high school and our faculty. In high school, the parent, the child, and the teacher work together. Their responsibilities overlap. They work more as a unified team. But in FMS, the focus is on your child. The child is the focus. The teacher will help your child to learn. And as a parent, you will help your child to learn also. But the overlap that is there in high school is not there anymore in our faculty. And then Alina says S is for sacrifice. And for us, we say S is for styles. Every program, every lecturer, every student has their own style. We need you to help your child know their learning style or styles, know their studying style, and help them to learn the style of their lecturers, their program, their faculty, and their university. As parents, you know that there are many different types of parenting styles. We encourage parents to find a parenting style that will best support their child in achieving their maximum potential. So we leave you with some points to ponder. It was Peter Krause who said, parenthood, it's about guiding the next generation and forgiving the last. Matt Walsh said, parenting is the easiest thing in the world to have an opinion about, but the hardest thing in the world to do. And the final point to ponder comes from Jodie Foster, who said, love and respect are the most important aspects of parenting and of all relationships. In the FMS, we engender to treat your child fairly as one of our family. They will join us as children in their chosen field and graduate as adults prepared and competent to take on the working world. Families stay together through thick and thin, good and bad, in sickness and in health. And we, the FMS, will be there for your child through it all. My final guide focuses on financial planning, dollars and cents. Whether it is Jamaican dollars and cents, US dollars and cents, the most important aspect of your child's education is being able to have a sustainable financial plan for all of the 3 to 5 years with us. You need to have a financial plan. You need to explore scholarship options, save with financial institutions so that you can reduce the spend you will have on your children. We want to thank you. We want to thank you for supporting your child thus far, and we look forward to your continued support when we start supporting them. We started with a meaning for parenting and we end with one. Parents is the only word which we cannot define its original meaning. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Jones, for that very detailed presentation. So parents know, if you know if your child has the inclination towards the medical sciences faculty, you know who they are. So have some discussion with them. If all those pointers that Dr. Jones identified in the ideal FMS or Faculty of Medical Sciences prospect, if it is not there, then you can help them to begin to foster or to rethink the career area in which they are going to go. So thank you, Dr. Jones. And just to remind you parents, I'm not sure what level your child is at, but if they are in upper sixth now, if they're in sixth form, for the MBBS, for the medical sciences, you need the sciences. So at the CSEC level for almost all of them, you need chemistry, biology, physics, mathematics, and English, almost for all of them. And then you need triple units for pharmacy, for the dentistry, and for the MBBS, which is the Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. Compulsory are biology and chemistry at the CAPE level. Anyone interested in pharmacy, they need to have biology, chemistry, and mathematics. So if you want to do pharmacy, they must have mathematics as well. Okay, all right. So now we are going to invite Mr. Murray, my colleague, to pick up on this other segment of our program. And I just want to remind you before I move on that we are going to have persons from the Faculty of Sport, Faculty of Science and Technology are going to be sharing with you, okay? So Mr. Murray, and you're also going to be hearing from some of our students about their experience, the true experience. But before Mr. Murray comes, may I ask Ms. Taylor to read for you or to, from a response from one of our parents. She wanted to be here, but something else came up. So she has a word of advice to parents, and I have something to read for you afterwards. So Ms. Taylor, are you ready?
Yes, I am, Mrs. Thornton.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Taylor is my colleague in the Marketing, Recruitment, and Communications office.
All right, so this
That's from
parent,
Colette.
Mrs. Thornton, Colette, right?
Yes.
So Colette wanted to share with you. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here, so she sent a little message. She advises, plan ahead for the financing of your child's studies. Know all the options available to you and start mobilizing them as early as possible. Various scholarships are offered from the university itself, from many private sector organizations in Jamaica, and from various regional and international bodies. For me, I was very impressed by the fact that the UWI has a one-stop approach to both providing info on scholarships available nationally, as well as providing one application that covers all relevant scholarships throughout the institution, and the application links for many of the other ones outside of the UWI scope. I would say start the search for financing options on the UWI's website. It truly makes the process easier. Secondly, explore other avenues for financing. Even if your child has grades that make him or her a Rhodes Scholar in the making, remember that as far as scholarships and bursaries go, demand far outweighs supply in our little island home of an overabundance of needy students. So, put in an application at the Students' Loan Bureau, just in case. Call upon your support system, such as family and relatives who may be able to help. Throw to partner and put aside the draws for this purpose. Get as creative and as innovative as you can. And of course, remember too that the UWI is always willing to be your backup, offering a generous payment plan for all students. That was a word from a very active parent, Colette.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. So parents, as a word of advice coming from a parent, her child is in first year now, so she knows what she's talking about. Thank you again, Ms. Taylor. And I'm going to invite another colleague from the Marketing, Recruitment, and Communications office, Mr. O'Dane Murray, to just walk us through the other segment of the program, the next segment.
Good evening, parents. Good evening, guardians. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. So we're going to continue, and I'm sure you've been hearing from persons from administration, you've been hearing from persons from the faculty, lecturers, deputy deans, but what about the students? What about the student experience at UWI Mona? And so I want to invite Mr. Deshaun Cook, who is the president at our Western Jamaica campus, a final year student doing management information system. He's going to tell you about what it's like being a UWI Mona student. Mr. Cook, your turn.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Murray, and greetings and salutations to everyone here. So as was mentioned earlier, my name is Deshaun Cook, and I am studying my Bachelor's of Science in Management Information Systems at the UWI Mona Western Jamaica campus. And for those who may not know, yes, there is a campus in the second city of Montego Bay. So before I go into what my experience is like, for anyone else who might be out there, maybe a child or ward may be interested in MIS, you can look forward to them being in professions such as computer systems administrators, search engine optimization specialists, data analysts, and the list goes on. So in terms of my experience being at the Western Jamaica campus, I think that it is extremely fulfilling. And if you or your ward or child is someone who is interested in a more intimate class setting, I would say, then that is why I absolutely love the Western campus, since it is much smaller, the classes are much smaller, and we get a one-on-one session. Not saying that it's not afforded at the main campus, but I believe that that is why I love the Western Jamaica campus. I also love the UWI Mona campus and studying here because of the cost. Funny enough, when I was registering for university, I did not just look into local options. Of course, I looked abroad. And, you know, the tuitions were ranging from 30,000 USD, 25,000, and I did not have that. Yes, there's faith, and I applied, got through for a lot of them, but I couldn't finance that. And the UA was here, and, you know, most of our degree programs are partially sponsored by the government, and then that gives us now the opportunity to pay only approximately 300,000 Jamaican dollars, and the degree is accredited. So what more could we be asking for? You're getting a partially sponsored degree, so you know you're paying much less than it should have actually been, and the degree is accredited. So you know that is one plus of applying to the University of the West Indies and actually getting there. And as parents, I'm also going to encourage you to encourage your child or children as well to apply for scholarships. Funny enough, while being at the University of the West Indies, I've only paid $20,000. And that $20,000 was when I was offered the acceptance and I was told to pay that fee to hold my space. After that, I've only been receiving scholarships and grants and bursaries. I've not paid $1 on tuition up to this day. And that is why I'm encouraging you to go ahead and tell your child or children to apply for scholarships. The process may be long. Some of them asking you to write scholarship essays. And you know, you might be doubting yourself, because I too doubted myself at one point. But you know, look at me now. So that's one thing that I'd also like to tell you as parents. And the UA offers you the opportunity to be well-rounded individuals, or your children to be well-rounded individuals. In terms of the program that I'm pursuing, as I said before, is Management Information Systems. And I'd like to debunk a myth that we are hearing a lot, to say that the UA doesn't offer, you know, the technical or the practical aspect of it. And that is not true. And that I'm speaking from experience, as I would have said before, because I too heard that before coming to the UA, but it is through research that I was able to realize that, you know, it also affords you the opportunity to do some hands-on experience. I can share this experience with you as well. When I was, you know, I'm now in my final year, and as MIS students, we're actually working on a program that is going to bring, well, we're hoping that it will bring online shopping for Mega Mart to Jamaica. That is a project that we're currently working on, should be completed by the end of this academic year. And as such, I hope that you'll be hearing more from myself or my classmates who are actually working on this project. And my final point today, in terms of my experience and what I'm encouraging you, is a charge to the parents, that is to encourage your children's leadership aspirations. You know, coming to the UA, there are a lot of students who may want to be a part of student leadership, but as a parent or themselves may say, I don't want it to take away from my academic aspirations. But I can tell you that, you know, master the art of time management. It is through that I was able to be so successful, I would say. And they say self-praise is no recommendation, of course, but I think it is through time management, you know, dedication and unity. One of the faculties spoke about that as well, that no man is an island, and that is absolutely true. So as Mr. Moore mentioned earlier, I am the president of the UWI Mona Western Jamaica Campus Council, and that is the student-led body that advocates for the needs and the interests of the students at the Western Campus. So if it is a case that your child wants to be in leadership, they want to be involved, go ahead and encourage them, push them to go that step. And I do hope that I'll be seeing a lot of your children at the UWI Mona and the UWI Mona Western Jamaica Campus. And that's basically all I have to say to you today about my experience.
Thank you, Mr. Cook. Thank you so much. I'm sure that was good food for thought and good experience for the parents. I'm going to ask our other student, which is Miss Ashley McPherson, is a final year civil engineering student. She's next, and she's going to spend a short time and just tell you why UWI Mona is her choice and how the experience has been thus far. Miss McPherson?
Good night, everyone. So yes, my name is Ashley McPherson. I am a final year civil engineering student. And if I were to rate my experience on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a 7 because we're in COVID right now. But other than that, I would give it an 8 out of 10. So engineering at UWI Mona has definitely been a really good experience for me. When I was in high school and applying to do engineering, a lot of people would ask me, why am I going to UWI? Why not go to UTech? Isn't UTech more practical? And yes, UTech is practical, but I feel that now that I have been through the program at the University of the West Indies, it is basically a balance. We do a lot of theory and a lot of practical. So I find that we were able to use whatever we were learned in the classroom in other settings. We were able to go on different tours, different guides, and I feel that it's been the only thing that would maybe deter you would be the tuition, which is 10,000 US. But there are a lot of scholarships that you can actually apply for. When I started out, I actually had to take a student loan in my first year. I felt like I applied for the wrong scholarships. So, but now I'm actually on the MSc vet scholarship. As Dr. Thomas says, it covers tuition, it covers boarding, covers miscellaneous fees, and I think it's something that everyone should look into. And if not that scholarship, there's scholarship from Fortress, there's scholarship from Grace, and it's just something that you should have at the forefront of your mind. So engineering can be described in one word. It is very, very stressful, but at the same time, it is very, very fun. So when I was going into engineering first year, I was very worried that I wasn't going to, fall in love with what I'm doing, even though I really loved the key components of engineering. I was worried that I wasn't going to make any friends. I was worried that I was just going to be behind. I could say goodbye to my nice little A+ and A's in high school. And funny enough, I ended up being the top level 1 civil student after the first academic year. So it's just very important for you to not have a closed mind when it comes to engineering. I know I started out wanting to be a structural engineer because I studied civil engineering. And as it is right now with this field, there's so many opportunities that you can embark on. As I'm about to leave next year, and right now I'm looking into drainage and sewage aspects. So I feel like an engineering degree is something that can be used broadly in the industry, and that's like a really good thing. So the experience has been shaky in terms of university itself. It depends on what you do. You get a lack of sleep, right? So one thing that they always tell you is that sleep is a concept, and you'd laugh and say, "Oh, that's very funny. I'm going to take my naps here and there," but it truly is a concept. I remember putting my first all-nighter in first year. It was really crazy, and after all of that, the lecturer came and said that, "Oh, hey, the homework is due next week," and that was just it's really shocking. But as it was, that stress that we went through in first year actually molded us for the other projects that we had to take on in our second year and in our third year, because it's just a lot of projects from there. But these projects are there to help you think about what you want to do, the things that you want to apply, and the lecturers just want to shape you, want to mold you into what they know that you can become. So I implore you that you can, I think engineering at the Faculty of Engineering at UWI, it's a very, I love the program. What I went through is not what your child will go through, because they are revamping the program for the better, and it's on its way to being ABET accredited. And I implore you that your child should look into forming some really good bonds with their classmates. Your classmate is not your enemy. This person is with you to help you so that you can, get that first class honors together. So I really hope that what I've shared with you today is something that you can resonate on, think about, and I hope that in the future.
Odin?
Yes? Hello?
Hello, you're finishing up?
Yeah, I'm finishing up.
Okay, go ahead.
Right. Oh, yes. And also remember that leadership is something that you should always look into. Leaving high school, I was a well-rounded student, and coming into university, I wanted to keep that. And it's good to start out earlier. I started out as a treasurer in my first year, and right now I am the president of a club. I am the secretary of another club, and I'm also the vice president for the Mona Engineering Society, which is the student body for the Faculty of Engineering. So it's really important to, these things look not just good on your resume, but it's also to help keep you grounded, teach you some responsibility, and yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Unfiltered and real student experience. And I hope parents are listening, because your child will have to be, or ward will have to be ready for the work that's ahead. Now we're going right into the other faculty presentations. You've heard from some faculties before. So now we'll hear from the Faculty of Science and Technology, and we have with us Associate Dean in that faculty, Dr. Andre Coy.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this presentation from the Faculty of Science and Technology. I want to talk to you about some of the programs that we have, because there are some exciting programs, some of which you may not necessarily associate with science and technology. And so hopefully at the end of this presentation, I will have convinced some of you to think about a career in science and technology and to come to the UWI to pursue that career. So the first thing you would have to ask is, why would you come to the Faculty of Science and Technology? Well, you can go there for your own personal development. Let's be selfish about this. Everybody wants to be able to earn a good wage or to be able to open their own business. In a field that is going to earn a large part in doing this pandemic, because it is people who work in the fields of science and technology who are solving the problems surrounding COVID, all the myriad problems, not just the problems to do with finding vaccines and building ventilators, but also maintaining the grid, the telecommunications infrastructure, developing new devices and techniques for online learning. These are all related to science and technology education. But if we want to be altruistic about it, we need science and technology to build our nation. And so if we don't have great scientists and specialists in the fields of technology, then we're going to continue to lag behind, and we won't get to the developed nation status that we are longing after. So there are a myriad of reasons for you to think about science and technology. You will have heard about the matriculation process. Someone asked in the chat, how do you get into the preliminary level program? This is the same thing that we're referring to here as a 4-year degree program. If for some reason you do not have all your CAPE subjects that you would require necessarily to come into a 3-year program, you can matriculate into the 4-year program. You'll do the equivalent of CAPE in your first year, and then you will go on to do the advanced level courses, and you will finish your degree in a minimum of 3 years. If you have all the CAPE that you need, then you come in and you do the regular 3-year program. So I'm going to talk you through the programs that we offer. In biochemistry, we're looking at combining chemistry and biology to understand the chemical processes within and related to living organisms. So we offer degrees in biochemistry and biotechnology, microbiology, and molecular biology. You can do these degrees as both majors and minors. So for a major, you will do your entire degree doing courses related to biochemistry with a few extra courses to keep you rounded. But if you want to do a minor, then you would do a number of the courses in biochemistry, not the full number of courses required for a major. And you will have some experience and skill in the field of biochemistry. So all the programs I will talk to you from all the departments offer both majors and minors. When you do a degree in biochemistry, there are a number of possibilities for you in terms of your career. I've listed a few of them, but this is not an exhaustive list. You can become a biophysicist or a food scientist, a medical and clinical biochemist, or a neuroscientist. In chemistry, we're looking at the properties of matter, how these substances combine or separate, or how they interact with energy. Degrees we offer include chemistry and management, chemistry with education, occupational and environmental safety and health, applied and general chemistry, environmental chemistry, food chemistry, and industrial chemistry. And possible careers include forensic scientists, quality managers, chemical analysts, toxicologists, or food technologists. In this fourth industrial revolution, if you're not involved with computing in some way, then you are behind the times. Computing looks at managing processes, it looks at communicating information, it looks at analyzing information, it looks at developing hardware and software for solving problems. It's a critical component of our current life, and it will continue to be so for many, many years to come. You've heard about data analytics, you've heard about artificial intelligence. All of these are related to computing. So we offer degrees in computer science and software engineering, information technology, and computer systems engineering. Our software engineering program is an interesting one. So we offer two strands of software engineering. One, you can do the regular 3-year program here in Jamaica, and you'll be qualified to work in the field of software engineering. But if you are interested in traveling overseas, if you're adventurous and you want to get an international perspective on work and study, and if you want to have an internship within a very large company that is doing critical hardware, software engineering rather, then we have an option for you. We have a 4-year program where you do 2 years here in Mona, and then you do 2 years in China. We're at the Global Institute for Software Engineering. And here you will interact with people from China. You will interact with lecturers from there, students from there. You will learn the language and you will complete your course of study. At the end of the course of study, you will be given an internship in a very large software engineering company. So you'll be doing actual live software engineering in a company where you'll be guided and mentored by experts in the area. And so when you come back home, then you will be, you'll have an edge over those who would have only studied overseas, because you would have been working on cutting edge technology, and you would be now prepared to either start your own business, to work for one of the companies here, or to look further afield if you want to continue your career in software engineering. Lots of possible careers here. So we can work as a software engineer, computer analyst, web developer, video game designer, IT security specialist, or even a computer systems administrator. Geography and geology is very interesting. It's not just about reading maps. There's a lot that we look at. We look at the physical features of the Earth and the atmosphere, but we also look at the physical structure and the substance of the Earth and how all of this impacts human beings. So geography is both physical and social. With all that has been going on with land slippages around the island, geography and geology is now being highlighted as part of our survival. We study all of these, and we allow you to be able to engage in very practical exercises where you will go out into the field and you will learn about many aspects of geography and geology. So we offer degrees in geology, geography, and geosciences. The geosciences are a field that might not be very familiar to many of you, but you would have seen maps being shown on television about where COVID-19 is currently raging, where it's likely to be going. What are some of the implications of that based on the mapping and analysis of some of these maps? And these are done by geographic information systems specialists. So when you do the geosciences, you have an opportunity to work in this field. So we have possible careers in environmental geology, volcanology. Yes, there are volcanoes in the Caribbean. You could become a meteorologist or a forensic geologist, computer mapping specialist, or even a GIS analyst. In the life sciences, we're looking at large organisms, we're looking at tiny organisms. We offer degrees in environmental biology, animal biology, plant biology, marine biology, terrestrial and freshwater ecology, coastal ecosystems, horticulture, and biology with education. Possible careers here, you could work as an entomologist, so you could study insects and the impact that insects have on the environment, and even the analysis of how insects grow and how that impacts different aspects of our environment. You could become an animal biologist or a conservationist, marine biologist, plant biologist, soil scientist, or a coastal and environmental assessor. Mathematicians are great thinkers. They are analysts. They can solve problems given large data sets. They can approach a problem from different aspects and be able to analyze it and come up with a solution to that problem. So you'll find mathematicians in all across the spectrum of industry, from working in banks to working in industrial engineering firms to working on Wall Street, or working in the insurance industry, because mathematicians have been taught to think. So we offer degrees in mathematics or actuarial sciences, mathematics with education, mathematics of finance, statistical science, as well as mathematics and modeling processes. With this, you could look to engage in careers in actuarial sciences, or you could become a data scientist, an economist, a cryptographer, or even an investment analyst. In the Department of Physics, we are looking at the universe, the fundamentals of the universe, from the very small to the very large. Physics is the backbone of all sciences. And we offer general physics and electronics, material sciences and medical physics, energy and environmental physics. And those are some of the things you would naturally associate with the Department of Physics. But we also offer novel courses in biomedical instrumentation, combination of climate science and electronic systems, combinations of alternative energy systems and electronics and computer science. So with that, you could look to become a systems analyst or a medical physicist, a data scientist, a physics researcher, or someone who specializes in electronics, or even an energy specialist. So I hope I would have introduced you to some new areas. I hope I would have reinforced your decision to study science, or I would have convinced you to think about studying science. And I look forward to seeing you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Coy. Thank you. I know some of the parents are here whose their children or their ward, they're very interested in the sciences, and I'm sure that presentation would have helped them a lot into narrowing down or seeing some of the areas that we have or the programs we offer in the Faculty of Science and Technology. Now, we're moving on. I don't want to be biased because this is my faculty, the Faculty of Social Sciences, and we have with us Dr. Heather Ricketts, who's the Deputy Dean, and she'll speak to us about the wonderful things that the faculty has to offer.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. Thank you, Mrs. Bolero Horton. Good evening, parents, and welcome to the largest faculty across the entire university system, the Faculty of Social Sciences. We teach over 8,000 students at Mona, and that's about 40% of the enrollment on the Mona campus. This year marks the 60th year of teaching at the Mona campus, and so we are celebrating our 60th year. And you'll hear a lot more, you'll see a lot more in the news about our 60th, the FSS had 60. but we will be having things such as a special volume with past heads of departments and past deans reflecting on the importance of the Faculty of Social Sciences and the various disciplines. We'll be having a conference and other activities. I think when you heard the placement and careers officer speak, she spoke of the number of jobs demanded since COVID in March of this year. And I want to tell you that about half of the jobs that were demanded actually could be fulfilled from FSS degrees or Faculty of Social Science degrees. So can we have the presentation? Yes. So the FSS, so the Faculty of Social Sciences has a particular mission, and our mission is, or a vision called REACH. We are realizing impact through research. We are exceeding the expectations of our students and stakeholders. We want to actively advocate for inclusive, sustainable development. We say that we are committed to being caring professionals, and we are harnessing our skills through continuous improvement and empowerment. So REACH, REACH. And we've embraced this vision for greater efficiency and effectiveness as a faculty. So why should you study, or why should your child study any of the social sciences? We think it's important for fulfilling and well-paying careers, for giving your student a well-rounded student experience. We do have world-renowned lecturers. Students will get exposure to global opportunities, and there is a lot of flexibility to pursue students' passions. The departments and centers in the Faculty of Social Sciences are the Department of Economics, the Department of Government, the Mona School of Business and Management, the Department of Sociology, Psychology, and Social Work, the Sir Arthur Lewis Institute of Social and Economic Studies, which is a graduate center only, and the Center for Disability Studies. Now, in the Department of Government, programs that are offered are programs such as international relations, political science, political leadership and strategy and management, politics and international cooperation, and public policy and management. In the Department of Economics, we offer economics, statistics, and banking and finance. Remember, parents, that these programs are mostly 3-year programs if they are full-time, and 4 years for part-time. Out of the Mona School of Business and Management, the programs offered are accounting, chemistry and management, entrepreneurship, human resources management, management studies, marketing, operations management, and tourism management. And in the Department of Sociology, Psychology, and Social Work, the programs offered are demography, labor and employment relations, psychology, social anthropology, social policy and development, social work, and sociology. Now, you would have heard a little bit about how to apply to for programs at the UWI. I just want to point out that for the social work program, there are departmental requirements, and these include 2 references, a personal statement, and information on core and extracurricular activities. And it could also include an interview. We have a weekend program in our faculty, and that's something that I would, parents, you even may be interested in our weekend program. So this weekend program is really for persons who find it difficult to get time off to attend classes during the week, or those who just prefer a dedicated period, devoid of responsibilities, so that they could conveniently pursue a program. These programs are offered on Saturdays between 8:30 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. Currently, 2 programs are offered: Management Studies, the general option, and Management Studies Accounting. But coming on stream as of January 2021 are 4 new programs: the BSc Entrepreneurship, the BSc Marketing, the BSc Human Resource Management, and the BSc in Banking and Finance. Now, by virtue of how the weekend program is structured, it is considered to be a part-time program, and it will therefore take 4 years to be completed. We spoke a little bit about so I'll tell you a little bit also about the Western Jamaica campus, and you had this president of the Guild of Students there speak. But we are very much present at the WJC, that's the Western Jamaica campus, and we offer most of the programs you heard me mention, but I'll just say them for your convenience: accounting, banking and finance, entrepreneurship, finance, human resource management, international relations, management information systems, management studies, marketing, operations, management, political leadership, strategy and management, political science, psychology, and tourism management. And the admissions requirements are the same. Now, we also have within our fold as Faculty of Social Sciences, the UWI Center for Disability Studies, and that's run by Senator Dr. Floyd Morris. And currently, they offer three courses: Understanding Persons with Disabilities, Disability Law and Society, and Disability and Development. There are no programs, full-fledged majors or minors yet, but coming very soon, certainly by about the end of academic year 21-22, we should see the UWI Center for Disability Studies offering a major and minor in disability studies. So what can you do with a degree from the Faculty of Social Sciences? Given all the things that I've told you we teach, you can be a number of things. Accounting, you can be an accountant, an anthropologist, auditor, banker, business journalist, criminologist, diplomatic officer, economist, internal auditor, an IR expert, a trade negotiator, a sociologist, a researcher, and that's one of our strengths out of the Faculty of Social Sciences is the training in research. And so many of our students, even before they actually get full-time employment, are employed on many short-term projects as researchers. One can be a pollster, a policy analyst, a political scientist, a public administrator, etc. Now, because of COVID-19, we have all had to pivot to the online modality. A lot has changed with how we deliver and how we evaluate our courses in this new normal. But our faculty remains committed to serving and guiding students during the shift to remote teaching. And the quality and the rigor of our programs remain unchanged in the new modality. In the new modality, and because of the pandemic, we have noticed the psychosocial impact that COVID-19 has had, not just on our staff, but also on our students. And so through our Associate Dean for Undergraduate Student Matters, she herself is a psychologist. She has developed a program which we have embraced as a faculty, and that program is called Roll With It. It's a virtual support platform that's designed to assist students through the pandemic by giving them tips and other very useful information on how to thrive in all areas while balancing their schoolwork and their personal lives and COVID-19. So the support platform includes an ongoing YouTube series, a newsletter, social media content directed towards giving these students the tools that they need to succeed during these unprecedented times. We have a number of clubs and societies because we want our students to be rounded, not only concerned about book work, but we want them to be very rounded. And that's where a lot of the soft skills are actually taught and learned. And so we have an FSS Honors Society. So the students who do very well, whose GPAs go from 3 upward, they are inducted into our FSS Honors Society. We have a Social Work Students Association, a Psychology Students Association, an Anthropology Club, an Entrepreneur Builder Club, the UWI Mona Banking League, the League of Future Economists, and the UWI Mona Model United Nations Club. By way of a testimonial, we have a student, Christopherson Nunes, who said that the SOSI was really a door for him to unlock his potential. And he said it was a space where he was able to apply the things that, well, he was able through the FSS experience to apply the things that he learned to his current career. So parents, the FSS is a great place to consider for the tertiary enrollment of your children. We teach very important disciplines, and many of our graduates go on to hold very important positions in the public service, in the private sector, and also in international development agencies. And we find our students all across the Caribbean and the world. So parents, thank you again. If you want to get in touch with the faculty, we are all over the social media platforms. We are on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and we have a YouTube channel, and it's at FSS UWI Mona. Thank you, and please consider very strongly the Faculty of Social Sciences.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ricketts. I'm sure after that emphatic presentation, I'm sure they'll consider a wonderful faculty. Again, I won't be biased.
That's biasness coming across, but we won't, you know. What can we say?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will move over to our newest faculty, the newest faculty on board, and I'm going to invite Dr. Aldine Facey, who's the head of academic programs and activities at our Faculty of Sport, to speak to the parents. Dr. Facey.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. Greetings, parents, ward colleagues. Thank you for sticking around. And you know, when you're watching the Olympic Games and you sit through the heat and you are excited, most excited for the final event, right? And here I am with the final run for the night in terms of the number of faculties, that is. So hopefully I will score for you a gold medal in the advice that I provide for you. So the Faculty of Sport was started in 2017, and we accepted our first set of undergraduate students in 2018. Now, the unique nature of the Faculty of Sport is that we cut across all the campuses, and we have at the Mona Academy of Sport. In Trinidad, we have the Trinidad Academy of Sport. In Barbados, the St. Augustine Academy of Sport. In Cave Hill, in Barbados, we have the Cave Hill Academy of Sport, and we have the Open Campus Academy of Sport, which cuts across all the other Caribbean countries associated with the university. Let me share my screen now. All right, so as was mentioned, 4 academies, UWI Mona, UWI St. Augustine, Cave Hill, the Open Campus, and I'll be focusing on the Mona Academy of Sport today. So the Mona Academy of Sport has 3 sections. One section focuses on the academic programs, and I'm in charge of that section. Another section in charge of athletic development and training. So your athletes, the sporting activities across the campus, they're responsible for that. And we also have the sports medicine clinic. So it's a one-stop shop for everything sport. Now, with regards to academic programs, and this is the area that would interest you the most, you want to encourage your child to engage in an activity that really interests them. And what we realize is that student athletes, when they pursue other degrees, they're trying to get it just because they want a degree, not because they enjoy it, not because they're interested in it. And as a result of that, they perform poorly. So you want an athlete or a student athlete to pursue a degree program that is of a direct impact to them and that they're interested in, and I guarantee you they will perform much, much better. So we have 2 undergraduate degree programs right now at the Mona Academy of Sport, and they are the BSc in coaching and the BSc in kinetics. The matriculation requirements for these BSc programs conform with the matriculation requirements that were mentioned previously. So we won't go into that again, but we do not require specific courses. The sciences can work, the business courses, arts, etc. You just need math and English along with 3 other courses as the minimum matriculation requirement. Now, I know that we're having a discussion with parents today. So I want to just take a quick second to also mention that we have master's programs. We have an MSc in sport focusing on the disciplines you can see there on the slide. And we also have a postgraduate diploma in sport management, which is a collaboration between UWI, FIFA, and CIS. We have sport business management, interdisciplinary sport pain management, MSc in sport and exercise medicine. So if you're a medical doctor or a physical therapist, this is the degree for you. And we also have an MPhil PhD in sport. This demonstrates the multidisciplinary nature of sport. Whatever interest you have, we have a program that can satisfy your requirements. Now, onto the sports medicine clinic. We do fitness testing, we do sport medicals, we treat athlete injuries, and if those athletes are among our cohort of student athletes participating in our sporting events, they would receive treatment for free, of course. And that brings us to the athletic development and training section, which caters for all sporting activities. And I'm mentioning the athletic development and training section because we also offer scholarships. So we offer scholarships that can cover everything from tuition, accommodation, and meals, to scholarships that would cover only tuition to a certain degree, depending on the cost of the program. And these scholarships are not only for students in the Faculty of Sport and the Mona Academy of Sport. These scholarships can apply to other faculties as well. So if your child is studying in the social sciences, in science and technology, they can receive our scholarship just by participating in their favorite sport. So encourage them to apply. Application for the scholarship ends in April, and I will provide a link to our website where you can find out more information about that. And finally, a very important thing that you need to note, what are the career opportunities in sport that your child may pursue after completing a degree in the Faculty of Sport, Mona Academy of Sport? So career opportunities in the academic environment, teaching in relevant areas of sports science, including physical education and sport classes in the high school arena. They can become research assistants at the tertiary level institutions. We focus heavily on research. Or undergraduate students are required to complete research methods courses. They can be sales agents in sporting goods industry, consultants for clubs, teams, and sporting organization, primary, secondary, and tertiary level coaches, personal trainers. They can go into coaching jobs in the tourism sector, coaching jobs with the national teams, governing bodies, commercial companies, and professional sport clubs, among others. So please visit the website that you can see here, the Faculty of Sport website. We also have an Instagram page, Mona Academy of Sport, where you can peruse additional information. Thank you for listening. I look forward to seeing your child or children at the Faculty of Sport, and also welcome some of you in our master's programs as well. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Facey. Thank you very much for sharing about the Faculty of Sport and the Mona Academy of Sport. Thank you very much. Now, I know we boast that we're not just about our academic programs, but we're about involvement and we're about students being a part and developing their talents. Now, the Irving Hall recently, they had a production, Bone of Contention. It was so good that it earned them 5 nominations at the Actor Boy Awards. I'm talking about UWI students, partnering with the Asher Company, of course. And we have for you an excerpt from that production, Bone of Contention, for you just to see how our students are not only engaged in terms of fulfilling their goals and getting a degree, but also participating and being involved in the creative arts. So we could go ahead and show the excerpt from Bone of Contention from the production done by Irving Hall. So while we wait for...
Here, me have two people in a university now, and it's never easy. You think you know hard life? You only know hard head. Then me never mean nothing. You never mean anything. Look here, you have the opportunity to become a big university, and all you want to go from careless. You know how much people would have no feeling at your position? You know how much students don't have access to university? Or go get kicked out? You shut up.
Do you mean access or interest? Because you see, I teach a lot of these students and they don't seem interested.
And why can't do it issue?
Exactly.
That access to? You don't understand what me I say. Hundreds of doctors graduate every year, right? So why nobody can cure the bones of this society? Why you cure security guard? Don't feel sorry for me, love. My job respectable. As for you, Professor, where your knowledge cure?
We cure the society.
Of what? Intelligence?
Tell them that.
No, don't get confused. Me not take on your side.
I don't want you on my side, no. Me them on my own side. I'm not good for you pump and get the use. Too black without a degree. Is it such a big crime in your book that I bleach my skin? When you bleach your mind, because it don't show up on your skin, and you can drive your pretty car. Oh, no, I drive a Toyota.
You're obviously an intelligent young man. Why don't you go and try and get yourself an education?
Because I don't want to be a slave.
Slavery is inconsistent with education. And if you're not being educated, you're being enslaved.
So what are you trying to say? Mr. Slave?
I'm simply saying that the foundations of slavery cannot survive an education.
My education comes from the streets.
We must use with creativity and with crime solving and with politics and with industry and with economics. Look here, we can block any system man make with creativity, you know. So that not simply means that we can use with creativity and build up our own society.
Yeah, true.
And the best place you can learn to cultivate your creativity is right here at the university, where so much of our students take for you that. When you could have spent your time in becoming the ideal graduate and help the country prosper.
I have a bone of contention to pick with this institution. I have a bone of contention to pick with these protesters. What is your bone? Why, your bone? Well, I speak as the voice of the University of the West Indies. I speak as the voice of protest within the University of the West Indies.
This whole new life reveals possibility.
We're the University of the West Indies, where our light shining from the west. We are pelicans for pound, and we live life out loud.
We're the voice of ancestors, brave and strong. We're the
People of the sun.
We are one.
We are one. This is a first-class university, a cutting-edge institution. Sharp like razor.
Thank you very much for that. And that was written and directed by our own Michael Holgate, who is the head of the Philip Sherlock Center for the Creative Arts. Thank you very much. And of course, you see how our students are involved at the theater and learning other skills. So Mrs. Horton, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. And the Chancellor Rice would say it is fittingly appropriate and appropriately fitting that at this time I introduce Ms. Simone Williams, who is the Student Services and Development Manager for Irving Hall, to share with you parents about how we are engaging our students in the out-of-classroom learning activities to help to foster some of those softer skills and to connect the academics to prepare our ideal graduates. Ms. Williams.
Thank you, Mrs. Horton. Good afternoon, colleagues, and good afternoon, parents. It's really a pleasure to be talking with you this evening. Of course, sending your children off to college and university is always a very emotional and difficult decision for some parents. For others, you know, it's understood as a natural progression of life. But as parents, we are always concerned about our children and what they will become and what they will engage in. And so I've read a lot of material about the concerns that parents have when their children go off to university. I just want to start by saying there are many different components of a human being and of a college student. We have the intellectual, but there's also the emotional, the social, the psychological, the physical. All of those have to work together really well to make sure your student is enjoying the experience and becoming the best version of him or herself. So all of that together, if everything works together nicely, we tend to have a student who is healthy. One of the concerns for parents is what happens to the mental state of their children. I had a student who graduated with first class honors the other day. He's doing really well. He has a really good job at Sagicor. But one of the things he said he valued his mother for, she would tell him every day of the journey, before you're mad, stop. And I just want to say at the University of the West Indies, we care about the students, not just about the academics, but their overall health, of which mental health is really important. So once your student is registered at UWI, there is opportunities for 12 free counseling sessions. It's covered in their miscellaneous fees. They have support from what we call peer support providers, which are really peer counselors, but they're university students. They have a free WhatsApp line that they can call, texting to graduate students in psychology to help them with their mental health and wellness. But more importantly than that, that's when things really go bad. UWI provides a community of peers where students are able to provide their own support for each other. So if you talk to a UWI student, they will tell you about the friendships they've formed, the support systems they've formed, how beautiful it is for peers to be living together in a guided environment. So we don't want you to think that when your student or your child comes to UWI that they are unsupervised and they're left wild and there is no guidance. In fact, that is not so. The history of UWI, how we started, they used to take the brightest student from every Caribbean island and send them overseas to Europe to study. And the idea was that they would come and try to make the rest of the society more European, until it was decided that it would be best that we would have our own university in the Caribbean. So we opened up with some of the brightest minds from around the region. They were very sharp, they were very culturally aware, they were advocates, and that spirit of activism, that spirit of leadership, that spirit of going for the best remains here at UWI Mona. So we have a natural environment in which people are trying their best to succeed in academics, in leadership, in advocacy, and so on. So the environment here means that students are always, being called upon. We're always looking for leadership abilities, communication skills. We're always looking for those who are motivated, those who are inspiring. When your students come here in first year, they have the opportunity to register in a program that is funded by the UWI called the First Year Experience. And it's a wonderful program because they're put in small groups of 15, so 15 first years, with a UWI staff member who knows all the ins and outs of the university and who can provide and direct them to the kinds of support that they need. And they also have a senior student who guides them. And they spend the year together. When we were face-to-face, we do things together like go to a cultural activity, go on tours, go to dinner together. We meet every Thursday and interact. Now in COVID, we still do that, but we do that online. So hopefully when things settle down, if it gets to settle down, we'll do some of the face-to-face, but the interaction and the exchange and the sharing, that still goes on. So we make sure your children are protected in their first year and are fully supported to stand on their own for the future years. As UWI, we have over 100 clubs and societies. So no matter how odd, this is what parents normally worry about, how strange, how withdrawn, how introverted your child is, how extra your child is, how enough your child is, there is a space at UWI where they can be comfortable, where they can fit in, where they can find family, and where they can thrive. So for example, we have a fencing club, we have leadership, we have corporate mentorship where private sector people, top name private sector people mentor your students. We have peer mentors, as I mentioned earlier, where they support the other first year students. We have them in career clubs as well, where they support and guide other students. We have Circle K, Rotaract, One Life. These are all civic engagement that builds civic consciousness in our students. Our students are very involved in supporting Cancer Drives, Breast Cancer Month, all those things our students are involved in. We do a lot of advocacy. There's a Marcus Garvey movement. And then we have the entire Philip Sherlock Center for the Creative Arts So if your daughter is a ballet dancer, a contemporary dancer, we have the UWI Dance Society, we have the Dramatic Arts Society, we have the UWI Chorale, UWI Singers, there's photography, then there's student government. Anything you can imagine that a young person would be interested in, UWI has it. For those who are from religious homes, there are also the religious clubs, so the Catholic Student Movement and UCAM, and all those activities are very vibrant at UWI. So whatever your child is interested in, the child has the opportunity to participate in. So we know some parents have a lot of anxiety about what your child will become while they're here. And to tell you the truth, UWI is very diverse. There are a lot of things that they're exposed to. But one of the things we preach and promote and cultivate at UWI is this idea that you become yourself. You don't become somebody else, you become yourself. So once you guide your child, and once your child is engaging here, they will be able to look into their lives, look into their belief systems, look into their value systems, and decide what is best for them. And sometimes it doesn't agree with what you had in mind for them. But what we do, we try to make sure that our students are very stable and very decisive about who they want to be. And of course, we encourage students to, to be intergenerational. Everything for us is about relationships. So we also encourage our students to make sure they maintain good family and community relationships. It's extremely important. But don't for a minute think that your students or your children don't need you. They really, really do need you, not just for the tuition, but just for the encouragement, for the motivation, and allowing them, giving them space to be. So we know that students come here and they struggle for different reasons. Some of them get caught up in the social life. Some of them become unsure about themselves. They lose confidence. They may have some trauma. Something negative may happen at home. A parent may lose a job. And so that affects their academics. We support them in that. We have the academic support unit where we're able to capture through the deans and through the faculties students who have underperformed and who need academic advising. And that is provided. So if a student is not doing well in school or wants to do better, we have those out of classroom kinds of engagement, some of which we do with faculty. So there are many opportunities for travel overseas. So there are students who have gone into exchange programs to Canada, to Fiji, all across the Caribbean. And they do that for a semester at no additional cost. It's just their regular UWI school fee. Outside of that, we have 2 weeks exchange programs. Each year we send 12 students to Florida State University for an exchange, a leadership exchange with Florida State University, or we send them for 10 days to University of Costa Rica. And that's always a really transformative experience for them. We have students from UWI Cave Hill coming and staying with us for 10 days and so on. So there's a lot of opportunities for exchange programs. So if your students come here because of finances and they come here because of the quality of the programs, but they still are interested in some overseas exposure, rest assured the University of the West Indies has that. So when you choose UWI for your child, you are making an investment in your child because we have world-class programs. Our program costs are very cheap, and we are going to make sure at the end of the day that your child is being molded into a successful adult. So parents, thank you for making the good decision of encouraging your children to choose the UWI.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. And parents, you see, we are why our students, when they leave, shall have left us, they always excel. So whether they are Rhodes Scholars or Nobel Laureate, we prepare them well by giving them a balanced and rounded experience at the UWI. At this time, we are going to go into a segment that I know a lot of parents are just waiting to come, because how is my child going to go to university? I have no money. I have tried. COVID has knocked out everything. Can my child still go? What do I do? And so we have some persons here who are going to share with us about how you can plan, if you haven't started planning yet, how you can plan for your child's education. But before I introduce, I'm going to ask the presenters, some of the UWI persons right there. I understand there are some questions in the chat. If you are still here, will you go ahead and answer some of them? Answer for us as much as possible. We'll try to answer those. And if you have to leave, you absolutely have to leave before. We also have a link in there, parents, or if you're here, we are asking you to fill out that evaluation form for us so that we can know how well we did, or what we need to do, or what we need to include the next time. Now I see Mr. Walker. Mr. Walker is ready and raring to go. Mr. Walker is from the Sagicor Bank. And he's the manager at the Mandeville branch, and he's going to share with you some tidbits on how they can help you to fund your child's education. Mr. Walker has 5 minutes, not much time, but I think he will try as much as possible to encapsulate what he has in that 5 minutes. Mr. Walker, thank you again for coming.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Bolera Horton. So let me say good evening to all my fellow participants, all the fellow presenters, and I really want to thank you for this wonderful session, most relevant, most timely, and thanks for giving Sagicor Bank the opportunity to share with our parents how we can help their children to achieve their dreams. So there are several options available for funding one's tertiary studies. So representing Sagicor Bank, I will be focusing on what we at Sagicor can offer to help students to achieve their goals. So before I go into the credit solutions, as I mentioned before, there are various options available, but I'd just like to highlight that at Sagicor, we offer a tertiary scholarship on an annual basis. And this is very important because, as you know, a scholarship allows a student to receive assistance geared towards helping him or her to achieve their dreams without any repayment at the end. And so, you know, we deem it up, we take great pride in offering this scholarship. And the scholarship is offered through our foundation. And, you know, we see it as a very important part in being good corporate citizens. And so each year we offer this tertiary scholarship. Last year it was awarded to over 30 students. So I'm encouraging all the parents, all the guardians who are tuned in to encourage your children, your wards to apply for this scholarship. This scholarship, they can benefit from up to $300,000. And it is given to a number of persons, as I said. So, you know, there's no fear of there's only one place. And so I want to encourage you all to, first of all, make you aware of this scholarship and to encourage you to then encourage your children, your wards to apply for this scholarship program that we offer on an annual basis. The scholarship is offered to students who are pursuing their first degree, and it is offered to students at any level during that, pursuing that first degree. So not only to a first year student, but to any level, any year level. So I will jump now into some of the credit solutions that we offer to assist those who are pursuing higher studies. So first of all, I would like to highlight our unsecured loan options. We understand that not everyone will have the security that is needed to apply for a loan. So at Sagicor, we do offer unsecured loan options, which can be used to help to pay for the tuition fees associated with the tertiary studies. So I'll just be sharing in brief some of the things, just to give you a few pointers, important pointers to note when applying for these loans. And you can always give us a call for further information. So our unsecured loans, we start at a minimum of $150,000. Our unsecured loans, we go for a maximum tenure of 5 years. So you can pay this loan of, you know, anywhere from between 1 to 5 years. Another benefit of our loans is that if you are able to repay the loan before the tenure that was originally negotiated, there is no fee attached to that. So if you come up on some funds and you're able to repay that loan ahead of schedule, it is absolute, it comes at no cost to you. As a matter of fact, it's going to be a benefit to you because the interest is spread over the tenure that is negotiated initially. And so repaying that loan before, you're going to be saving yourself some interest. But we allow you up to 5 years. And so the longer the repayment period is, the less the monthly payment will be. So we give you that flexibility. $60,000 per month. That is all that someone has to be earning in order to qualify for one of our loans. That's a minimum salary. The amount that you get is going to be dependent on your debt service ratio. So we'll do some calculations when you come in. We'll sit with you, have a discussion, look on what sort of facilities you have existing, and see how best we can structure something to meet your goals. So I think that this bar is something that is, quite affordable for a number of our parents who are listening at this time and our guardians. Also, importantly, to qualify for one of our unsecured loans, you would have to be employed for at least 2 years. At Sagicor, we are also flexible in that if you are not with your current job for 2 years, but you transitioned, but it's in the same field, what we do, we look on continuity. And so it may not be the current job that you are in, for the 2 years, but you may have gotten a better offer, but it is in the same field. And so we do take that in consideration in looking on the 2 years that we say that you should be employed for. So these are some, a few of the things that you should bear in mind when you are when you're approaching us for an unsecured loan to assist with your child's tertiary studies. So in the event that you have a home, a house, and you want to take advantage of the equity that is in that house to help to finance the studies of your child, then we also offer a home equity loan. The home equity loan, the minimum that we would offer under this particular package is $500,000. The benefit of this package is that it gives you a much longer tenure for repayment. So you can get up to 30 years to repay one of these home equity loans. The thing about a longer repayment, as I mentioned before, is that a longer repayment allows the borrower to benefit from a lower monthly payment. You can access up to 80% of the value of your property, right? So we give you up to 80%. So an appraisal is done, a valuation report is done on the house, and up to 80% of that can be granted in the form of a loan. The thing about the home equity loan, why I also want to share this option, is that typically these loans will come at a lower interest rate compared to the unsecured options. So not everyone will have the security, but we still want you to be able to fund and finance your child's education. And so we offer the unsecured packages. However, if you have a house, then you can avail of the home equity loan. When we think about tertiary studies, the fees or the tuition associated with tertiary studies is just one part of all of the expenses associated with the studies. So that child is going to be going to school over that period, over those semesters, and going to school on a daily basis. There are going to be some certain expenses associated with that. And so we offer credit cards. The credit cards are short-term financing products. And so we wouldn't necessarily encourage you to use your credit card for something like a fee, but the credit card can be used to do things like purchasing of books, can be used to assist you with the purchasing of groceries. You know, those are expenses that must also be considered when we're talking about pursuing tertiary studies. So sometimes we look only on the fees, which is a very huge upfront cost, but we must also consider that there are other expenses associated with tertiary studies. And so the credit card offers you that ability to pay for things like your purchasing of your books, your various living expenses, your groceries, probably your rent, and probably transportation, those monthly expenses. The good thing about the credit cards is that you can get up to 55 days to pay, to make your payment on your credit card. And at Sagicor, we say that while you spend, you can be earning. And so for your credit cards, as you spend, you're going to be earning points. You will get 1 point, 1 reward point for every $120 that you will spend. And the thing about these reward points is that they can be redeemed for a number of things, including cash back. So depending on how much you spend on a monthly basis, you know, probably after a year, you can look at the points you have accumulated and then apply those points back to your card. And it can help to, you know, pay probably your monthly payment. And as a matter of fact, right now we have a promotion that is going on where for persons who apply for credit cards, you get 10,000 points upfront. And this 10,000 points, it doesn't require you to spend any money, right? It's just something that we are giving back to you upfront. The 10,000 points represents $10,000. So right away, if you apply for a credit card at Sagicor Bank now, immediately you get $10,000. And I think that, you know, as you think about your child's education and the various expenses, I know that $10,000 may not sound like a lot in the scheme of probably the fees that you have to pay, but I know that every, as I said, mickle makes a muckle. So I know that you appreciate $10,000, you know, from us here at Sagicor. So yes, and finally, just to wrap up, we offer a Star Savers account, which is something I really also want to focus on, because the options I presented before are credit options, loans that you would have to repay. But importantly, we understand that saving is a very important thing. And the Star Savers account that we offer is an option that can help persons to save towards future dreams. And so, you know, I want to encourage the parents who are on. You may have younger children who are coming up. Encourage them to open a Star Savers account. You know, we created this account in order to help, in order to engage parents and in order to engage their children, to build the habit of savings. And we understand that if you think about a child going to, you know, university 10 years or 15 years down the road, and you start saving from now for that goal, it takes a lot off you when you are finally ready to pursue that dream, or when that child is finally ready to pursue that dream. And so we want to encourage our parents, our guardians who are on, come into Sagicor Bank, open a Star Savers account, start saving from now for your child's future dream. So I want to again thank you for giving us the opportunity for sharing, and I'm wishing all our parents the best as you help your children in achieving their dreams. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. And we hope that with that, we can get some more scholarships. So parents, there you heard how you can begin to plan early. And who is to say maybe with this Sagicor will give us some increase scholarships. Thank you again. I am looking to see if our SLB partners are here in the chat. I am not seeing the names. Our SLB persons are here. Okay. I'm not seeing SLB in the chat. Anybody in the chat from SLB? The names. Okay. At this time, I'm going to invite from the UWI bursary, Mr. Lincoln Gordon. And Mr. Lincoln Gordon is a supervisor in the Student Administrative Services. That is one area that they know what it is like when students don't pay the fees, or when students don't have the fees. So they undergo some of the stress. And the stress is when students are not adequately prepared to fund their university education. So I'm going to invite Mr. Gordon now to share with us from the UWI perspective, the impact of, not planning so well for your, so he's going to look at the UWI perspective and just share with your parents. Mr. Gordon.
Hi, thank you very much. I hope and trust that everybody is hearing me loud and clear. Is everybody hearing me?
Yes, we are.
Ah, excellent, good. Love that feedback. Thank you very much, Mrs. Horton, for inviting me to the session so I can share with all the parents for the prospective students to the University of the West Indies, share with, everyone, for best financial planning as it regards to, just preparing for the university life and what to expect once you're here. So my purpose here, is just to give you some suggestions, give you some tips, guide you in the right way. And I promise I won't be long because I know the session has been going on and I know other persons are here. I'm not sure if I'll be permitted to share my slide. Would I be able to do my slide? If not, I could go ahead, but I would love to show the slide as I go ahead. All right, so again, welcome everyone to all my colleagues that are here on this session. Greetings from bursary. Again, my name is Lincoln Gordon, and I'm currently the acting supervisor for the Student Administrative Services section, right? And we focus on providing financial assistance and financial advising to our students, to our customers, to all our stakeholders. All right. So as I said, my purpose here today is just to give some information because we know that information, sometimes that is what persons need to actually maneuver their way through the university effectively. All right. So first of all, I want to say the SAS section for short, we're focused on the customer service. All right. So you come to us whenever you need information, you need guidance, whenever there is orientation sessions, we will be there to just give you some information as to how to make your payments, meet deadlines, avoid penalties, and all these things, all right? But what specifically our purpose? So let me get into that. So our focus, and we're joined with the billings and receivables section as well. All right, so we are the customer service end, and the billings and receivables section is that section that does all the back end work in terms of ensuring that the billing information is correct and ensuring that all the information for our stakeholders, such as the donors, payments from various entities, that all that information is reflected accurately in students' accounts. Now, from the front end side, whenever there is any disputes, whenever there's any concerns, whenever students need information, need to understand what is happening, need guidance, need, just help, we are there at the front line to assist with information and advice to guide you into understanding what's happening on your accounts. Now, just to let you know just some background of the financial situation. Once you're coming to the university and you are told of fees and what fees you need to pay, I want to let you know that the three main administrative costs of the university is tuition, well, there are tuition, miscellaneous, and residence fees, all right? So we always tell persons that you just need to pay attention whenever you get the deadlines, whenever you're planning, you need to know that these are the three main fees that you need to pay attention to: the tuition, the miscellaneous, and the residence fees. All right. So tuition, I want persons to know that what the tuition covers is for the program that it is that the student would have been accepted for, enrolled in, and fully registered. That is what the tuition covers, the taught programs or the program that they're currently studying. All right. And for the miscellaneous fees, those are mandatory fees. They cover for the various services for which the student would, so health card, your ID, certain miscellaneous fees in terms of accessing systems and services. All right. And that is charged once during the academic year within the first semester. All right. Or if it is a case where you did not start, or the student did not start within the first semester and they start in the second semester, then the miscellaneous charge would be billed during that time. All right, so it's a one-time charge for the year and it is charged yearly. All right, and then the residence fees, that's for persons, or students rather, who reside on campus. Now there is a 138 student living that is also on campus, but those are separate stakeholders for which you would make payments to them separately. All right. So as I said, prospective parents, prospective students, what do you need to know? Now, for the university, I heard one of the presenters earlier mentioned it. I think it is the president of the Guild of Counsel down by the WJC. He mentioned that the only fee he had ever paid while studying at the university was the commitment fee. All right. So what is the commitment fee? All right. The commitment fee is a deposit or a down payment that the university asks every student who wishes to start studying at the university to secure their space, right? So it's a down payment, it's a deposit, $20,000. So once you have registered, once you have applied and you've gotten your acceptance, you'd have been, told or required that you're required to pay an upfront cost of $20,000. That is you securing your space. You're telling the university that I am made up my mind and I've decided to attend the university. All right. So that is normally required before the academic year starts. So the deadline is normally around the 31st of July. All right, $20,000. Now, just let persons know, we often encourage persons, if you know that you are interested, we tell you to pay this upfront so you can ensure your space, because a lot of our programs are oversubscribed and you want to ensure that you secure that space in. All right, so that's one of the first costs that you will experience or you'll have to look out for at the university. Now, there are a lot of times where persons, we get a lot of calls, especially during the beginning or the start of the academic year, from a lot of parents who, they're seeking information on what the cost of various programs are, how much does this cost, how much do I have to pay for that? Well, I'm going to let you know that all the information that you require, the documents and everything, we make them available online for you, all right? One of the easiest ways during my presentations, when I'm going to say to parents and I'm going to say to students, you want to find the fees, you could just go onto Google, any major search engine, and you could just type UWI check fees. All right, you click on that link or you submit that link, and then the first link that comes up is normally that link that takes you to the fee portal. Now, when you get onto that portal, you'll see several things. You'll see check fees for undergraduate programs. You'll see check fees for graduate programs, check fees for hall, miscellaneous fees, and also links to make payments online and to apply to the university and all of that. Now, normally, we know that most of the enrollment is normally for undergrad. So when persons go there, we normally say to persons that, hey, if you are, one of the easiest way to know, because it's kind of, it has some information there that we normally get questions where persons need clarity. Now, when you go onto the fee sheet, you will realize that there's some various categories there online that you may need to understand what it means. Now, the first thing you need to know is that it is segmented or it is separated by various faculties. All right, so if you need to know the fee for a specific course, then you first need to know what faculty it is that you're checking for, all right? And once you get there, then we're gonna say to you, all right, you may look for a specific program for which you're studying and you're not seeing the fees, then that would more than likely mean that that specific program is considered to be one of the sponsored or the UGC programs, all right? So it would be covered in terms of you paying a certain percentage in terms of 20%, the government offsets 80%. Now, something to know, if you are a Jamaican student, by default, you would be a sponsored student. But I want to go specific and give you examples, right? If let's say for instance social sciences, I'm gonna do like Mr. Murray and be biased to the social sciences here because that's my faculty. All right, let's say you wanted to check the fee for accounting or economics or anthropology, sociology. Again, those are my programs. You would first go down to social sciences, scroll down to social sciences, and then you look. Now, if you don't see your program, as I said, more than likely it would be a sponsored program. And then that program would fall within the first category or the first program fee that falls under the name of the faculty. Now you'll see for part-time, you'll see a per credit listing, and then for full-time, you'll see a per annum. Now, right there, that first column for payment, it will state sponsored students from contributing countries. All right. Now you have various columns here for which we normally get a number of questions. Persons need to understand which category do they fall. All right. So for the easiest things we can say to you is that once you are a Jamaican student, then you automatically will fall on the contributing country. But there's a guide on the fee sheet. All right. Now, if you scroll to the bottom of that sheet, you will see where in the appendix it says for contributing countries. Now you have campus contributing countries. Now, for persons who don't know, the UWI or the University of the West Indies, they actually have 3 campuses. You have Cavell in Barbados, you have St. Augustine in Trinidad, and then you have Mona and WJC in Jamaica. Now those 3 campus countries are actually contributing countries. And then you also have non-campus contributing countries for which you see various territories are listed. So just in case you want to have an idea, when you look in the column and it says sponsored students from contributing countries, you can get a clearer understanding by looking down the bottom of the list to see which country would be covered under these categories. Now, it's important to note that for a country that is listed as contributing country, it may mean that the student may not be sponsored, which is what the second column is. All right. But as I said, if you are from Jamaica, then it is sponsored student from contributing country. All right. And you will get more information in terms of where or which category you fall whenever you're doing the admissions process, you know, for which student is considered an international student and students from non-contributing countries. You'll get more information there. But this fee sheet acts as a guide for which you need to, you know, get an idea of what the program would cost from early. Now, across various faculties, you have some programs that are self-financed. Now, we know we have a lot of parents here who want to see their wards, they want to see their kids enroll in specific programs, and we know we have some popular programs out there. You know, we have the MBBS from the medical sciences, we have the law programs, we have the engineering. All right, we have these programs, and all these programs that I just mentioned are all self-financing programs. For the MBBS program, however, undergrad, we do have a sponsored program within for MBBS, but we also have a self-finance or a full fee paying program for that. All right. Now, the reason I'm singling out these courses is I want you guys to understand that these fees are quoted specifically in US dollars. All right. So we get a lot of questions, you know, why are these fees quoted in US dollars and all of that? My quick answer to that is that a lot of these programs are internationally recognized, especially for the university, and so it is advertised widely. So it is subscribed internationally. All right, so we market ourselves worldwide along with other campuses and a lot of other universities. All right, we're rated and ranked high amongst all the universities, especially regionally. All right, and you're going to get the figures, you're going to get all of that information going forward from the other presenters. But point here that I want to make is that we have noticed that there is confusion when it comes on to making payments for these US-based programs in terms of the cost. Now, what the university has done, we need persons to understand that Jamaica, or UWI is a Jamaican university. So our fees, although they're quoted in US, whenever you look on your student statement of accounts, you will see that all the breakdown is quoted in local currency, which is Jamaican. Right? So if your program is quoted in US, you'll see an equivalent value on your tuition based on an exchange rate that the university uses for the academic year, right? So for current year, which is the 2020-2021 academic year, the university uses an exchange rate of 141. So for a student who is doing law, where their program is quoted at 10,000 US dollars, that would work out to be $1.41 million. Now, why am I saying this? I want you to understand how you would approach this if you're making payments, all right? If you choose to pay in Jamaican dollars, you would have to pay that equivalent that I mentioned to say that we base it in terms of our rate at 141 if you're paying in Jamaican dollars. So that cost for the program for the year would be 1.41 million. However, the cost of the program is 10,000 US. If you're paying in local, it would be $1,400,000. Sorry, 400,000, 410,000, right? However, if you're paying in US, you need to pay 10,000 US. You do not go to your bank, go to any financial institution, ask what the exchange rate is, and then try to find out what the exchange rate would work out, how much you need to pay to get to 1.4 million using US. No, because what that would mean, depending on the exchange rate at the day, you would either pay more or pay less in US. So if the exchange rate is more than 141 for the day, then you may get an exchange that would be less than 10,000 and you pay less than 10,000 US. The exchange on your account works out to be great, and then you think that you have covered the cost of the program. No, if you're paying in US, ensure you're paying 10,000 US. If you're paying in Jamaican dollars, ensure you're paying that equivalent at 141. And it goes for all of the programs that are quoted in US dollars. All right, so I just wanted to make that clear for everyone. All right, now what I want persons to understand as well is that while the university allows for all these programs and everything, we want to also guide persons in paying attention to the deadlines that are set by the university. All right. So as I said, my purpose here tonight is to ensure that you get the enough information to avoid any issues that may cause or disrupt the studies of the student. All right. So I think it's very important that these this information is provided so persons can know what they need to do. All right. Now, there are deadlines that are set each academic year, and we always urge students to pay attention. Now, parents, sometimes you know how it works. The students, they glance over these things and they do not pass on this information. And then it's last minute you get this information, and then you're trying to scurry to find the resources, to find the payments, to find the fees. So we are imploring you from early, check with the student, because the communication will be sent to them, and find out these deadlines so you can make preparations going forward. All right. So as I said, the deadline and the information, all of these will be sent to the student via emails. You'll get the deadline for semester 1, you get deadline for semester 2. Now, why am I telling you this? Every student have 3 options to make payments at the university, and I'm going to guide you through them. All right.
Now, Mr. Gordon.
Yes.
I think we have another presenter, So if we don't give too much details, you know, so that we can have
Okay, no problem.
persons are going. So if you could wrap up for us at this time, and then they could put it in the chat, and maybe you could respond.
All right, no problem. So I can summarize everything that I'm going to say.
Okay,
All right,
thank
no problem. Going to wrap it up in like 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Good. So for parents, if you're going to make payments, you have 3 options to make payments at the university. All right, follow me. Step 1, when you get the deadline for semester 1, you can choose to pay off your entire school fee. Once you have the funds, you can make the payments, clear off, everything is all right. That's step 1. Now, if you can't do step 1, step 2, the university have 2 semesters for the academic year, 2 main semesters. Semester 1, semester 2. Semester 1 starts August, ends December. Semester 2, January, ends in May. Now, there are deadlines set for those. So for semester 1, you can pay up by the deadline set for semester 1. Don't worry about semester 2 until you get to semester 2. You come by the funds and then you're able to make the payments for semester 2. That is fine. You're free to do that. Now, let's say you don't have the funds to do all of that right now, then the third option is that the university offers an installment plan. All right. And what that does is it allows you time to cover the fees for the semester over the various months. All right. And that allows you flexibility. If you know you get pay per month, then that option normally is very popular amongst parents to try to ensure that they cover the fees for the students over the period. Now, just to let you know, you have various places you can make payments at the university. You have JN, Paymaster, Bill Express, NCB, UWI Educom, online using e-commerce, wire transfer. All right, you can also make payments at the university cashiers. You can also make payments at WJC bursary. Ensure that you follow the deadlines and avoid penalties, such as not sitting exams, unable to view records, and all these sad things in terms of information going to collections agency. All right, we urge everyone to just pay attention to the deadlines. We have all the information that you need, and you can always contact us for more information. That's my presentation. Thank you very much for your time, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Gordon. That's a good amount of details. And parents, a lot of times the anxiety would be lessened if you know persons knew this information or they took time to find out about it. So I'm glad Mr. Gordon was able to share with you this evening about, you know, the payment option, payment plan, the deadlines, and so on. And one of the things I would like to suggest parents is that I know the university sometimes writes you as well if the student provides your email address or your contact, then you probably reach out to you, send you an email connection. But so remember, have a conversation with your children. If you're helping them to pay, let them give you the password and so on, so you can go in and check on your own. Yes. So you have a conversation. I pay your fee, so you allow me access. You know, you make a negotiate that. Now this time we have with us Miss Marsha. Make sure that she is yes, Miss Marsha Lawrence from our Office of Student Financing, and she's going to share with you about some of the bursaries and so on, scholarships and bursaries that are available at the UWI, internal and external. So please listen up, because there are many options there. You heard from some of the students that they got their own scholarships, and some of them came through the Office of Student Financing. So Miss Lawrence, may I invite you to share now? Sorry that you have waited a little while. But could you, this is the best thing for the last.
Good night, everybody. Good night, Mrs. Horton.
Good night, Miss
Thank you for
Lawrence.
the invitation.
Yes, and thank you.
Yes, you're hearing me clearly, right?
Very clearly.
All right. So given the time, you know, I'm going to try and keep it under about 5 minutes. So my name is Marsha Lawrence. I'm from the Office of Student Financing at UWI. I am an acting senior administrative assistant, and I'm just gonna quickly go over what we do. Now we offer several types of financial assistance. Our main type of assistance is scholarships and bursaries, and this is a paper application that you can access on our website. At the end of my presentation, I will provide the contact details on how you can reach us. Okay, so scholarships and bursaries, it's a paper application. The applications for scholarships and bursaries open June 1st, and they close on August 31st each year. No, sorry, that was this year. We had to amend this year to accommodate a lot of students. It's April 1st to June 30th each year. And in order to be considered for any of the awards that we administer, GPA is a good thing. So a GPA of at least 3.0 is good. And that's for students in second year or higher. We do have scholarships for first year students as well. I cannot stress enough the importance of co-curricular and community involvement. Our donors love the students who are involved and who just keep busy while doing their schoolwork. They love that. So because the grades, these days everybody have a good GPA, a great GPA, but they love the students with the co-curricular and the community involvement. We also offer the general financial assistance. This covers book grants, small cash grants, and the meal assistance. This type of assistance is open September to December and January to April each year. So in other words, we open each semester and we close at the end of the semester, and then we reopen again during the second semester. So if students need assistance with their meals, typically what we do is we issue a card, and that card is allotted $300 per day. And we have several commissaries on the campus that the students can go to and swipe their card and purchase their meals. So that's the meal assistance. If you need assistance with books, it's the same process. You apply and we respond within 5 working days. The cash grant is typically for non-tuition expenses, and that's why I said small cash grants, because it's nothing close enough to what the tuition is. We also offer the U.S. Department of Education. That's a federal student aid, and that is a, hold on, let me just touch on it quickly. It's a direct unsubsidized loan that is funded through the U.S. Department of Education. Eligible persons are persons who are U.S. citizens and eligible non-citizen, in other words, green card holder, and students in any faculty except medical sciences may qualify. Students also interested in the federal student aid, they must, their program must not be an online program, so it must be face-to-face. We offer financial guidance on a whole because each student has unique situations, and based on their situations, we provide guidance. So we may guide a student towards applying for SLB, or because the truth is we can't help everybody. You know, the scholarships are there and there are many, but like I said, grades, good grades are, it's a common thing these days. So we can't help everybody. So we might refer you to SLB, as Lincoln mentioned before, the installment plan. We also encourage students who are on PATH to apply for the PATH bursary, and that is $100,000 each year. The guidelines for that is on our website. So that's $100,000 each year, and that opens August 1st to September 30th each year. 100,000, see how many times I'm saying it? 100,000 each year. So all you have to do is apply. So once you were a PATH beneficiary in high school, you can contact us and we'll walk you through the process of how you can apply for the PATH bursary. Very important too are the UWI bursaries for engineering, preliminary engineering, law, and the MBBS and DDS full fee paying programs. For the engineering bursary, there is no set amount. If you're in second or third year, you would need a minimum GPA of at least 3.0. But it is typically for first year students. The same for law. So there is no set amount for those bursaries. For the preliminary engineering bursary, 30%, if you receive it as a student, you would receive 30% of your tuition. For the MBBS and the DDS programs, that is a 50% bursary. And these bursaries are open July 1st to August 31st each year. So that's the UWI Mona Law bursary, the engineering bursary, the preliminary engineering bursary, and the MBBS and DDS full fee paying 50% tuition bursary. So anyone interested, they can apply every year. They can apply next year, sorry, July 1st to August 31st. So our website is www.mona.uwi.edu/OSF. You can email us at stufinc@uwimona.edu.jm. Or you can call us at 702-4646. And I want to stress before I go that you just need to apply. You just need to apply because you never know what can happen. I can't list the scholarships right now in the interest of time, but give us a call, email us. We're more than happy to talk to you and guide you as how you can plan for your university education. Good night. That's it for me.
Thank you, Miss Lawrence. Parents, I'm sure it was worth waiting, so you know some of your options. I can't remember, I was answering a chat here, if Miss Lawrence mentioned the JAMVAT, but there's also the JAMVAT. And if it's the first time you're hearing about it, it's as a program that is in place from the government of Jamaica for Jamaican nationals. Once you do, I think it is 200 volunteer hours, and they'll pay 30% of your tuition. If you're in medical sciences, I think they'll pay 350,000. So find out about that. One of my colleagues always say, research, research, research. So Office of Student Financing, UWI, JAMVAT Path, other scholarships and bursaries. You heard about Sagicor, there's NCB, there's the Good Students Loan. I think Core Students Loan persons had to leave, but make sure that you do the research because help is there. Do not wait for the last moment. And again, research, research, research. Thank you, Ms. Lawrence, for that presentation. Dr. Morgan Allen, I don't know, did we leave out anything here that we need to say to the parents? All I'm going to remind parents this time before we go, and I'm just going to hear from one parent, which one of our staff members will read. She'll just read a short note that the person sent to us, and then we'll have the vote of thanks. But just reminding parents that application is now open. We are closing early this year. We are not going to March as we did last year. We will be closing the 31st of January. Application is open. They can put in the application. Dr. Morgan Allen has advised that where you are in a remote area and you can't get to the school as easily, then they can still copy and send the documents, and afterwards they can get it certified. If they can get it certified, that is okay. So the birth certificate is CSEC and CAPE certificate, or CSEC and the birth certificate. Medical Sciences has the co-curricular form, so that they should also fill out. And you heard about the from Dr. Ricketts about the social work, and that they need to also have a reference for that. One of our parents, she is the mother of a first-year student, sent me a little note, and my colleague Primrose Brown is going to read it from her, and then I'm going to invite Mr. Murray to say the vote of thanks. But certainly, parents, we invite you to continue sending your questions. If we have a connection for you and we don't get to answer it just now, we'll try to respond. We are asking you to fill out an evaluation form. If you have a question and fill it in that, we will respond to you, provided you give us a contact, some contact details. So Mrs. Brown is going to read a note to us, or to you parents, from Miss Davidson, Jennifer Davidson.
Jennifer
Yes.
Davidson.
Go ahead, Mrs. Brown.
Good night, everyone. Unfortunately, Miss Davidson could not be with us tonight, and she just wants to share her experience. She said, my experience applying to the UWI was a good one. First, remember now, it was at the time the pandemic started to affect us here in Jamaica. However, the representatives from the University of the West Indies were super helpful. They made themselves available to us in person to offer the help we needed whenever we didn't understand things about the application process and about the faculties and how to navigate about the faculties and how to navigate through the turbulent times. As a new parent at the time, I was a little nervous about the uncertainty of the times, but those representatives offer really good encouragement and support when we needed it. So my advice to you is just to communicate with them and you will be okay, regardless of the challenging times. I remember part of my journey was when I was super anxious. Super anxious because we weren't sure when the classes were going to start and the school year was approaching fast. I went on campus to the faculty and met the most amazing representative. That evening she was on her way home and I guess she saw my distress and she took the time to explain everything to me. She also gave me the most amazing talk. She said, this too will pass. And I started to smile. So don't worry, they have your students' best interests at heart.
Thank you, Mrs. Brown. And we certainly do. And I see Dr. Morgan Allen has remained here right to the end of the session. And she is the Senior Assistant Registrar in the admissions. And I know that Mrs. Dr. Morgan Allen and her team, she is, once your child has applied, then that's where most of the questions go. But, feel free to call if you have a query. Us in the Marketing, Recruitment and Communications Office, we too are available for you to call. I'm going to ask my colleague to share our contact numbers so that you can get in touch with us, or if you put your question in the chat, we will call you. But certainly you can send us a WhatsApp and we'll be willing to hear from you. So I'm going to invite my colleague now, O'Dane, to thank you and to thank the rest of the UWI staff for remaining with us and for being here with us today. Mr. Murray?
Good evening again, parents. And first and foremost, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day, your busy schedule, to hear about what will benefit your child or ward. You are an important part of the puzzle in them understanding and matriculating to university. And so we wanted to create this space, especially for you, to make you more knowledgeable so you can help in making a better decision for your child or ward. So I want to thank you very much for being here. I also want to extend congratulations to the members of the UWI team and family that made this a wonderful and informative evening for you. Speaking specifically to Dr. Anne-Marie Williams, Ms. Simone Williams, both from the Office of Student Services and Development, all the persons that gave you the faculty presentations, the deputy deans who came and gave you integral and detailed information about the faculty and academic requirements. I want to speak also to the persons who came and the students who came and gave their perspective about what it's like to be a UWI Pelican in this time, during COVID. And lastly, but definitely not least, I would want to thank the persons who spoke to the financial preparation, which we believe is a key part in you understanding and having your child transition or ward transition to the university. So on behalf of the team here from Markham, Mrs. Horton, Ms. Taylor, Mrs. Brown, who they're all help in the chat as well for YouTube, answering all the questions. Dr. Morgan Allen, thank you very much for being a part of this information session. And I do believe it was beneficial for the persons who we wanted to reach. So thank you all.
Thank you to Mr. Murray for co-moderating here. And I see our FMS, Dr. Jones, still on. So thank everybody, parents. This is yours from us to UWI. Thumbs up, clap, all of those. We thank you, your partners, and please feel free to contact us should you have any queries. But we invite you again to fill out the form for us. And we look forward to welcoming your students or your child to the university come September or come August or another August if they are not in upper sixth or even in lower sixth. So all the very best to you. Keep safe. Remember, research, research, research. Follow up your students. Some of them need to be followed up. And remember, it is their lives, so you encourage them, be with them. Not wanting them to be the ones to live your dream, but help them to live their own dream, but while you help and guide them. I see Dr. Coy still here. And Mr. Murray, we forgot our MITS team. They have been here before 5 o'clock.
Thank you.
Yes, and we really want to thank Mr. Preston, Miss Pence, and Andre. Thank you, team. I don't know what we'd have done without you. Thank for the guidance and the direction and everything. Thank you so much. So parents, bless you, keep safe, and please encourage your child to apply. Some of them, you have to be behind them. You have to sit down with them. You have to ask them all the questions and help them to look. Sometimes you have to do the research too, but don't hold their hands, but be with them and guide them and ask. And we will have a session for you when they're to come in. That's an orientation that how you can better support them while they're there. So thank you again and all the very best to you. Thanks everybody. Bye.